Psych. Shocker. Shocker. That boy didn't want to pay no. That boy didn't want to pay no child support. We knew it. That's all. That's what all of this was about. All them fake tears. He could easily appeal and walk. Nope. Maybe. You know what? Bugsy. Oh, Tyrese got hella money. Tyrese got a lot of money. Yeah. Tyrese rich as shit. Bugsy just said something interesting. He said if he's smart, he can easily appeal and walk, which would prove that the system actually favors men. Because why? How could you be $75,000 behind on child support, get arrested for it, and all you got to do is appeal and you can leave the court without paying the child support? The judge said he can't get out until he pays, but you know. But why would he appeal? Exactly. Why would he appeal that? Why wouldn't he just pay the child support? Banana product was good.
Yeah, answering the question, can fathers who refuse to support their children financially still be good fathers? I would say no. Like flat out, I don't believe that.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think you cannot financially support your child and still consider yourself to be a good father. Though we hear that all the time. We do hear a lot of men still claiming to be good fathers, even though they don't spend no time with their kids. They don't financially support their kids. But somehow, some way, they're still good fathers because they say they love their kids. I have no idea. But yeah.
Yeah, I would say it's just a generation of complacent fathers and men who are raising children who ultimately feel unloved. I feel like by their parents or by one of their parents, and doesn't put a lot of responsibility on the man to take. I mean, if we're gonna be against certain policies in the United States, we need to acknowledge that men should also step up to help support raising a child.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. Thanks for coming up. I definitely agree with you.
Thanks.
Child support is a scam anyway. Let's hear how child support is a scam. No, he's not broke, Nan. Nope. Tyrese, before anything, I'm just gonna let y'all know right now, Tyrese is not broke. Tyrese is wealthy as shit. Tyrese has a lot of money. He has the money to pay the child support. That's not why he's not paying it. That's actually why he got arrested, because he actually does have the money to pay it, but he just refused to pay it. Like that's what the judge, that's what it is. That's what the contempt of court was. That's why they put him in prison, because he had, like, if you don't have the money to pay it, that's different, right? But he has the money to pay it. He just doesn't want to pay it. That's why he got arrested. That was the contempt. They did assess his ability to pay, and they determined that he can pay it. Bugsy. That's what happened. So, yeah, the reason why I don't want to play that game, to anybody that's not understanding, we can't sit here and say, oh, he's broke. I know that's like funny to say, and because you want to like down him, but if he's broke, then that's a legitimate reason for him not to pay. So do we think that he's broke and he's not paying because he's broke? Or do we think he's not paying because he just is going out of his way to not pay? Because I think he's going out of his way to not pay, personally. I think it's deliberate. Which I'm going to get into. I think he just doesn't want to pay. Like most men don't want to pay. So yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do the like, oh, he broke and he can't pay. Nah, he can pay it. He can afford to pay it. Yeah, he doesn't want to pay it, and that's important for us to keep in mind. That man don't want to pay. Can fathers who refuse to support their children financially still be considered good fathers? Obvious answer for me is no, right? Tyrese claims to love his son, but won't pay his child support. I saw his heartfelt what up Lux? I saw his heartfelt video, proclaiming his love for his son or whatever. But no money. Untamed Master, you still ain't got the message, huh? We'll invite you up. I know you don't like to. I know you scary. Okay, Bugsy. Hold on. Let me get to one at a time. Let me mute this guy. And then we'll get to Bugsy. Here you go, Bugsy. You can come up. You obviously want to get some shit off your chest about child support. So child support isn't an entitlement?
No, it's not.
Why not?
No one is born getting child support.
What do you mean?
No one, the administrative, okay, first of all, the administrative process of child support is fraudulent and illegal, right? So what they do is, how it survives is through contracts, right? So you can come into a courtroom and volunteer yourself to a contract unknowingly because of the language that they use and the letters and the threats that they send you. And all that type of stuff, right? But technically, what they're doing is they're making you make a decision under duress, and that's illegal. If the dude actually did his research on how the administrative process of child support is actually illegal, he can easily walk. Lawyers won't tell you this. You would have to pay a lot of fucking money to have a lawyer actually be on the man's side to get this process done, because everybody has a stake in making a man pay child support. The judge has a stake because he represents the bank. Because when you pay child support, you pay into a trust, which means that you're actually paying into a bank. So they have, they have a stake in the contract that they're making with you.
What bank? What bank are they paying into?
I'm saying the whatever, everybody, every child support that. Okay, first of all, and there's a conflict of interest even with that, because the child support is actually the county pretending to be the state, right? So when that, right, with what I just said, child support is a county agency pretending to be the state. So even within that, that's fraud, because they're pretending it's a county agency pretending to be something that is not. You understand what I'm saying? And then most of the judges and the magistrate, they just attorneys that's hired by the county.
Magistrate.
They're just attorneys they're just attorneys that's hired by the county to have these hearings in a court. They ain't necessarily even in the courtroom. If you know what I'm saying. So like when you really get into the meat and potatoes of how this shit work, is fucking fraud. The only thing that they can hold you to actually is following the court order. They force you into a court order. They basically coerce you into following the court order. But if you understood your rights and understood the letters of the law, it was. I mean, it's. You know what I mean? No man should avoid taking care of his kids. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying the way they are forcing men to come in court and volunteer themselves, that shit is wrong. What they're doing. No man should avoid taking care of his kids and supporting his children.
So,
I'm not saying.
I got you, Bugsy. I got you.
I'm not saying that at all.
Bugsy, hold on, Bugsy. Okay, I'll let you go for a long time. I need to ask you a couple questions though. So, you didn't answer my question about what bank it was. I don't think you know that it goes.
Every state has a different bank. It's a state bank.
It's a state. Hold on, wait. It's a state bank. So you're not. Hold on. So you're not paying into a bank.
When you pay your child support, you pay to whatever state trust.
Yeah.
That's what you're paying into. You're paying into
a trust isn't a bank, by the way. A trust isn't a bank.
Held by the bank. Yes, it is.
A trust in and of itself is.
Hold on, I'll look it up. Hold on a second. I'll look it up right now.
Okay. But and then also
It's a trust.
I got you. I know what a trust is.
Okay. Yeah.
And I know what a bank is. They're two different things.
A trust fund. Yeah.
So
the judge is also a banker.
Yeah. He's not.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God. So you don't even know what you're talking about. How you know that?
I do.
How do you know that?
Because they're judges.
Have you put in any research on how this shit actually works?
Yeah, I did. That's what I'm saying. I know. Hold on. Wait. Here's the thing. Hold on.
The judge is actually a banker.
God.
He represents the.
Damn. Even when you let a motherfucker talk for 4 minutes straight, they still don't know when to shut the fuck up. This shit is crazy. I let you talk for 4 minutes straight. I didn't say shit. Can I fucking talk? This is ridiculous. God damn. This is like my children can fucking shut their mouths longer than y'all can. My kids. Be quiet. So, so what I'm saying is that if it is a state bank, quote unquote, then it's not beneficial to this. I mean, it's not like they have a contract with the bank like Bank of America or some shit like that. It's not a private entity, right? It's just the state, which we already know the state is the liaison between the two parents. So there's nothing new there. It's not news, right? Secondly, what my question is to you before with all of that stuff you were saying, I'm not gonna even like go back and forth with you about that stuff because it's clear that you just watched a YouTube video on that shit. You probably be looking at that dude who be on with the dude with the scar on his face that be grifting all the men, telling them that child support is a scam, and he got like a book on it and shit like that. And he, that dude, he won his child support case because they fucked up, and they did fuck up. I listened to his story from beginning to end, and the state did fuck up his case, and that's how he won. Which happens. The states fuck up. It's people still dealing with the shit. So they fucked up. But child support in and of itself isn't a scam, first and foremost. And the reason, and what I want to know is for anybody that thinks it's a scam, my question to you is this. What do you expect? What do you expect to happen, right? If a child is born to two parents, because it takes two parents to make a child last time I checked, and one of the parents refuses to financially support the child, what should be the consequences of that? Bugsy, you can answer that. I'm going to start with you, and I'll go through everybody else on the panel. What should be the consequences? How should that be handled?
I believe that's a private matter between private people. That's their business.
Okay.
That's a private matter.
Okay.
I don't think the government should be able to come into your home and tell you what you need to do. And that's an overreach for the government.
Bugsy, do you own property? Do you own property?
Private matter.
Do you own property?
No, I don't anymore. No.
Okay. So you used to own property. Did you used to rent this? I'm just asking this. I don't care if you do or you don't own that. I'm just curious. Have you ever rented from somebody?
Yeah.
Okay. So they owned the property. What would you expect that person to do if I know it's even no it's hold on. My God. It's the same fucking thing. And it's actually, and the craziest thing is, y'all, hold on, y'all. And the craziest thing about what I'm saying is that kids are way more important than property. That's the point. So you're right to a certain extent. It's worse because it's a child involved. So what my point is that if you weren't paying your rent, you signed up to pay rent, right? It's worse. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You're right. But you're thinking about it backwards. It's worse. It's even worse. That's why this is a really good example. Because if you would go to court over not pay, or if you had some property and you would take somebody to court for not paying rent, why the fuck what do you expect to happen if you don't pay for a child? It's a kid. You would go to court for not paying rent. They would take you to court for not paying your car payment. They would take you to court. They'd take you to court for not paying your credit cards. But you don't think the court should get involved if you just abandon a child financially? Make that make sense to me.
Check this out, though. You won't go to jail for not paying your bills.
You will go to jail. You will go to jail. You will go to jail. They will throw you in prison. You will. Bugsy, you don't know what you're talking about. You will. They will literally lock you up for not paying your credit card, bro. It's not illegal. See, you don't know, sir. You don't be knowing what you're talking about. It's 100% legal in this country to get locked up for not paying your credit cards. Not for 1,000%. Okay.
That's illegal.
Okay.
Hey, real quick, hey, public, educate me on that. I didn't know you can go to jail for not paying your credit card.
Yeah, so if you go, so this is how the credit card shit works. If you don't pay your credit cards, some people have been sued for not paying their credit cards, right? If you don't pay the money and you do what Tyrese just did, which is like you go, let's say you go to court and you work everything out, you know what I'm saying? And they say you're gonna pay, yada yada yada, and then you don't fucking pay. What do you expect them to do? You think they just gonna let you just live for the rest of your life without paying this fucking debt? No, they're gonna throw your ass in jail just like they did Tyrese. Sir, it's not illegal. It's not illegal. I promise you, it's not illegal. It's very legal. It happens all the time. It happens all the time. So 1804 Hustler, same question to you. What would you expect us to do? What do you expect us to do as a society, right? If in this society you have a child, which is an obligation, right? A child is people say PPP loans too. Be another example. So you have a child, right? The child is here. You as a parent should be obligated to pay for that child. Am I correct?
Absolutely.
Man or woman, don't matter. You helped make that child. Okay, cool. Now you don't want to pay. Now you don't want to pay. What should you go to jail for? I mean, what should happen? Not what should you go to jail for? But what do you think should happen? You don't want to pay, or the woman, look, I'll reverse it to make the men feel better. You have the child. Okay. Okay.
So look, in my perspective, I have 3 kids by one woman, right? We're no longer together. We separated. I live in a different state, yada, yada. Now, mind you, I make sure she get that money every week. It don't matter what it is. It don't matter how our relationship is, our friendship, whatever. Like, I make sure she get that money because I know it's a necessity. It is. It's gonna take care of things. It's gonna keep the train moving.
Yep.
The moment that I stop paying and I consistently stop paying, I am liable to take you. You are liable to take me to jail. That's your consequence, right? Right. You didn't have that. She didn't have that child by herself. You know what I'm saying? Like.
But my question is how should it be handled? Because Bugsy is saying it shouldn't be handled in the courts. How should it be handled?
It should be handled in the court because it's not being handled between the two parties.
Right.
So the only thing that's left is to take it to court.
Seems like common sense to me. Okay.
Like it's common sense. You know what I'm saying? Now, mind you, I commend people that don't take it to court and just leave the court out of it, but take care of their responsibilities. So, for example, you have a mutual agreement with your kid's mother, and you make sure you abide by that agreement. So, for the question for Tyrese to refuse, I don't know if he have the money or if he don't, but if he does, then he just refusing because of the relationship that that happened and them being separated, yada yada. Like that's really a crime, to be honest with you. In my eyes, like that's a crime, bro.
Yeah.
Like ain't no way around it.
So sheep don't run with lion. What should we do about?
Well, first off, I just want to say I am a woman, and I hope that it is okay that I'm in this conversation. I'm a woman who paid child support for my children. As somebody who paid child support, I do know that going to jail is an iffy thing for me because if you go to jail, how are you paying your child support? If you're getting your license taken away, how are you paying your child support? That's my only thing. I think it should not be, jail shouldn't be the end all be all because sometimes you need to be out to go to work and sometimes you need your license to go to work. With my situation, when I got married, I had never taken care of myself before. I basically went from my parents' house to my husband's house. And when we divorced, I fell on my ass hard because I didn't know how to take care of myself. So I went to my ex-husband and asked him to take the children so that way I can get back on my feet. It took me 2 years to get back on my feet. By then, the judge was like, well, they had already been with their father. We're not going to interrupt that. So I don't had no problem paying my child support, keeping myself up. It's just sometimes when you have a situation like my boyfriend and his ex-wife, she put on their papers that he owed her $43,000. $46,000. Wasn't even close. He had to beg her. I sat there and listened to him beg her to go back and change those papers because he paid his child support. There were times where he may have had to double up because he was a truck driver.
Ma'am, I'm sorry. I asked you a question. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't. This is I personally. The anecdotal stories are fine, but this wasn't.
Well, I said that it's okay. I don't have no problem with them going to jail. I just think that it's a
no. That's not
half and half. I think that should be
That's not even what I asked. That's not even what I asked. I asked, how do you think we should handle if
the courts?
Go to court. Okay, cool. That's what I. Yeah.
And if you got to go to jail for not paying your child support, you got to go to jail for not paying your child support. It's just the end all. That's just it.
Okay.
If you can deal with between the mother and the father, that's great. Mm-hmm. That's great. But if a mother or a father cannot pay their child support without having the courts involved, go to the courts. That's just it.
Yeah, got it. That's what I figured. Okay, Mr. Penny, what's good, man?
How you doing, brother?
I'm good.
I just kind of jumped in. We were talking about going to prison over debt. Like someone else said, debtor's prison is illegal. You don't go to prison over debt. Now you can get a judgment against you because you owe an X amount of money, but you can just go file bankruptcy on that money. You can't do that with child support. You have to pay the arrears through the bankruptcy. But you can go to jail, obviously, for not paying child support, but it's not the same as not paying your debt. And the same with PPP loans. PPP loans is fraud. Not the same. You're committing fraud when you get the PPP loan. Mm-hmm. If you get the loan legally and you don't pay it, that's completely different. And I just want to say that pay your child support, and I'll leave.
Gotcha. Okay, appreciate it. Yeah, debtor's prison is supposed to be a thing of the past, but people still be going to debtor's prison. So Bugsy, you still don't feel like the court should be involved to be like the liaison between the two parents?
Only in extreme cases where there's been child abuse, there's been some type of abuse, there's been some type of neglect. Only in extreme cases. Other than that, if they ain't got no proof that you've done something illegal or you hurt a child or something like that, no.
Is not financially supporting your child not neglectful?
But see, check this out, right?
Hold on. Yes or no?
I don't believe so.
So not paying, sir. Bugsy, not paying for your child, not supporting them financially is not neglect. You're saying that's not neglectful.
We only look at what we can prove, right? They only look at what's documented that they can prove. That's why they have in this situation anyway, right? So you could be very well supporting your child, you understand what I'm saying, and buying things for your child out of your pocket. But if it ain't documented where you have
That's not what Bugsy, that's not what I asked you.
I know, but I'm giving you my answer.
I know, but that's not the answer though, because that's not the question that I asked you. So let's hold on, wait. I know, but you don't like my answer. No, it's because you're trying to that's a straw man argument. I never said, oh, if you're paying, but it's not documented, should you go to court? That's not what I asked you. I said, if you are financially abandoning your child, is that not neglectful? That's what I asked you. Yes or no?
But see, you're making it sexy now.
God damn, this is crazy. You can't answer this question? You can't, Bugsy, you can't answer this question? This is not a hard question.
Because what one family can afford to do with their children is what they can afford to
do. That's not what I asked. I'll ask you. Is this the third or fourth time? I'm gonna ask you. Third time. No, I'm not holding on. Bugsy, I'm not holding on for you to try to gaslight me. I'm not making a claim. I asked you a question, and I'll ask you again. If a person financially neglects their child, is that not? If a person financially abandons their child, is that not neglect?
Taking care of his child, that's not neglect.
I didn't.
Misusing the word. You know what I'm saying?
What?
You're using a word that doesn't apply to the situation.
How doesn't it apply?
If a man is there, he's not neglecting his child. So
financially, he can be neglecting his child.
If a man is there for his child every day and there to take care of his kid,
mm-hmm.
That's not neglecting your child.
It's not.
We can't even use that. We can't even use that word.
Yes, it is. I'm not. I'm 1,000% using it accurately.
If a guy is there and present, if a guy is there and present, changing diapers, doing everything he needs to do, how can he be financially neglecting his child? He's doing what he needs to do for his
because
kid.
He's putting a financial. Hold on, you guys. Because he's putting a financial strain on the woman, right? So you said he's there. Hold on, Bugsy. Let me respond. So if the woman is, if he's there changing the diapers, who's paying for the diapers? If he's there feeding the baby Similac, who paid for the Similac? If he's in her apartment doing all of this stuff, who's paying for the apartment? Like, yeah, he's there, he's present, but he's putting a financial strain on the woman. That affects her. So if you're putting a financial strain on the woman, you are now straining the child. That's what I'm trying to tell you, because their relationship is fucking simpatico. So if the woman is stressed, the child is stressed. If the woman is, that's not my opinion. That I promise you, that's not my opinion.
But we didn't even say, that's still maybe that, you know what I mean? Like, if he's there and he's taking care, he's in his role as a father with the child, that's not neglecting the child. So we can't even use that word.
He is neglecting if he's neglecting them.
Explain that to me. How?
Okay. You want to know? How? Hold on. You want to know how, Bugsy?
Beautiful.
How is like this?
That's not child neglect, right?
It is.
If a person is there taking care of their child, they're just not spending money. They're there taking care of their child. You can't.
How are you taking care of your child? How do you? That's what I'm saying. How do you take care of your kid without spending? It doesn't make any sense.
I'm sitting right next to a nurse.
What? How do you take care of a child and not spend money on them?
Exactly.
I don't even understand that. Babies is expensive.
I don't even understand your question. That's crazy. I don't even understand your question.
How would the baby eat? Here's what I'm saying, Bugsy. So if the woman gives you the child and you take it to go to your house, what are you going to do?
Take care of the child.
How? With money.
Do everything that you're supposed to do for your child. But we just
did you hold on? Wait. Do you hear how stupid that was? So if you take the child and you got the baby at home and you got to feed it, you're gonna go out and buy it food, right? So you're gonna go out and buy it clothes, right? You're gonna go out and buy the baby diapers. Okay, so you got to spend money. So so what you're saying doesn't make sense. That's what we're trying to tell you. It doesn't make sense. No.
You can't be present and be there and take care of your child and neglect them at the same time.
And not spend money. That's what you're not missing. That's what you're missing. How can you be present with the child and not spend money on the child?
So in my
this fool's stupid.
Take care of her kid. She's so dependent on child support to take care of herself. She don't need to have a child.
No, that's not what it is. You cannot take care of a child without having money, bro.
Period. Period.
You gotta have money, bro.
I don't know, and he knows that, but hold on, hustler. He knows that because he just said that. He said, "Oh, I'm gonna buy food. So yeah, that's what we're saying. Because how else would you take care of the child? Sorry.
If a parent can't, whether it's the father or the mother, if the parent can't afford to pay, that's not child neglect.
So CPS taking their kids out the home when they can't feed them, clothe them, and do all that stuff, that's not neglect?
They're not doing that due to neglect. They're doing that.
Not remove your kids if you can't afford it. They will not. They will help
if
you
you cannot feed, clothe, or send your kids to school like they're supposed to, they do take your kids away.
I've been a case manager before. I've been in TPR meetings. Your parents can afford shit. I've been in TPR meetings, and they just give them time. They give them time to get hooked up on services that they can.
And if they never can, and I agree with you. I got you. Yeah. The bottom line is, children get taken out of their homes all the time for I'm gonna mute you up, 18. You got a lot of background noise. Kids get taken out of their homes all the time. Allie wanted me to ask you, how long did it take for your wife to meet your mom and dad? Bugsy. That was a question for you, Bugsy. Are you not there? Rosie Palm said debtor's prison still exists. Debtor's prison still exists, even though folks are not supposed to go to jail over credit card debt. Yeah, that's what I've seen. I've seen people go to jail over credit card debt. So Bugsy, men aren't providers? No, men aren't providers. We already know that. Huh.
Can I say real quick, public, I did look up that credit card thing, and it did say that it is a civil thing, but you do have to go through a bunch of different processes before you get to the criminality.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm with you on that. I do understand that, but just from what I looked up on the internet, and when I worked in healthcare, I had a renter's thing, civil, that almost stopped me from becoming a pharmacy technician. Mm-hmm. So it's there. It's there. It'd be the smallest little things. You got to go in front of the board. They can stop you from doing any of the smallest things. So credit, debt, all that stuff, it does affect you to a serious degree. They'll
charge you. They're gonna get that money somehow. You ain't gonna be able just to walk free. So real quick, let me get. I just want to say a few things about Mr. Tyrese before we move on. So to me, Tyrese has proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that he actually is the problem, right? Because for all of his crocodile tears and all of those videos and stuff like that, the thing that happened with Tyrese was this. A lot of men, like Bugsy, you did this before too, but a lot of men like to act like it's the woman, right? Like, oh, she just crazy, she da-da-da-da-da. But then you look at their actions, right? You look at how they move, outside of the relationship, like after the relationship is ended or whatever the case may be, right? And to me, it screams that he's a narcissist. He's not a good person, because if you were a good person, why wouldn't you pay child support? Like, if I don't like my wife or whatever, and we break up or whatever the case may be, yep, that's messed up. She's the demon. She's whatever you want to say. I'm gonna pay my child support because I know that's for my child, right? I would never punish my child by punishing the mother of my child. It would never happen. If my wife has my child, I'm going to take care of my ex-wife. I'm saying at the time, she's my ex-wife. I'm going to take care of her until the kid can take care of themselves. Then I'll stop taking care. I don't care how much I dislike that lady, because I care more about my child than I do about hurting this woman, right? So to me, that proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that he's the problem. It happens all the time. Like, men like to after the relationship ends, and they like to like cry and act like, oh man, she was such a bad person. She was a terrible woman. She was a terrible, all that shit, right? And then you start looking at them, and then, oh, lo and behold, he ends up in jail for not paying child support, $75,000 worth. I don't know what it is monthly. That could be 6-7 months of child support, for all we know. But bottom line is, that a lot of times men will act like up front, like on the, to the world, like, oh, this woman, she just took my kids away from me. She just trying to punish me, blah, 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 blah. But come to find out, you're just selfish. You're just bitter.
Isn't it the same woman that didn't let him see his kids for like 2 years? How is that? I mean,
and why? And why didn't she?
I don't know if there's a good reason for a person to hold somebody's.
There's a
whoa. There's a good reason outside of like
abuse, neglect, financial abuse. Yeah, tons of reasons.
Right.
Tons of reasons. And he's proving to be a financial abuser to the world. He is literally financially abusing this woman in front of us right now.
How is he financially abusing her?
By withholding child
support.
Is this not fucking
this crazy shit? Yeah, like we subscribe to this crazy shit.
This shit is wild.
We subscribe to this crazy shit. That I just can't go.
This is wicked work, fam. He is financially abusing this woman, or attempting to, in broad daylight.
She ain't entitled child support, bro.
She is. That's why he's locked up for it.
The child is entitled child support.
She is. They are. Whatever you want to say, the child is. It don't fucking matter. Run her fucking money.
This is exactly why I can't do people, because people believe crazy shit, bro. You ain't entitled child support technically. You're not.
Yeah, I got one question.
The child is entitled child support.
Hold on. Wait.
Take care of themselves.
How old is that? How old is that child, Bugsy? How old is that child, Bugsy? Bugsy. How old is the child, Bugsy? Bugsy. How old is the child? How old is the child? Can the child have a bank account? Does the child have an ATM card? Can the child go shopping for themselves? What are you talking about?
So you can just hold a child hostage to get paid? I mean,
yes.
Until 18 years old, 19 years old.
Yes.
And we okay with that?
Yes.
No, I can't go.
I'm so okay with a mother or a father keeping the child away from an abusive parent. Yes. And 100%, you owe it to the kid.
Okay, so
You owe it to the child to protect them from their parent. You owe it to them.
the conviction of abuse. Show me where we got court documents and convictions of abuse. We just throw words in the claims.
What are you talking about? He literally just got arrested right now.
Just show me.
He just got arrested right now. It just happened right now.
He got arrested for not following the court order.
He got arrested for not paying child support.
No, you can't get arrested for not paying child
Sir,
support. It's
oh
contempt
my
of
God.
court. You get enforced. They enforce the court order. It's the contempt of court.
And what was the contempt of court for? And what was the contempt of court for? You have to have a reason.
Not following the court order.
And what was the court order, Bugsy?
They won't even mention child support in court.
What was the court order? The judge mentioned it. I read the fucking article. What are you talking about? The judge mentioned it. The judge said, this is what the judge said. I'm paraphrasing right now. We told him to pay child support. He can pay child support. He refused to pay child support, so we held him in contempt. That's what he's in fucking jail for, or was, because he's already out now. That's what he was in jail for. And furthermore, we're not letting him out until he pays $75,500. That's what the judge said. So what the fuck are you talking about? And what was the court order? To pay child support. That was the court order. Why are you playing dumb? Like, this shit is funny.
I'm not playing dumb. It's contempt of court. Not following.
You don't go, sir. Contempt of court doesn't exist in a vacuum. What was, they have to give a reason. What was the contempt of court for? What was it?
They can raise any issue to say he was in contempt.
But they didn't. They raised a specific issue. But they raised a specific issue, Bugsy. Sir, they can raise any issue. You're right. But they raised this issue, and the issue was he did not pay child support. That's what it was. They could say anything. You're right. They could say you lied about this. They could say you yelled at the judge. They could say you threatened the bailiff, and we're holding you in contempt. But they didn't say any of those things. The judge, when they asked the judge, why are you holding him in contempt? He said, oh, because he didn't pay child support. And he owes $75,500, and we won't let him out until he pays it. That's what he's in jail for, or was. Go ahead, Hustler.
Now, the amount that he had to pay, is that including back pay or just like?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know how long it's been. I I know his child support was pretty high.
A lot of money for just one child, like.
I hate when y'all start saying that weird shit.
I mean,
He is rich.
It's just based on his income.
He's rich. That's how they do it. There's no, hold on, wait, y'all. Hold on, wait. There's no ceiling to how much you can spend on a child. Kim Kardashian and Kanye West kids, they spend more money on their kids than we do our kids. They make more money than we make, right? So it ain't, what are you talking about? Don't stop counting rich. Don't pay attention to rich people shit in that regard. Like, leave that shit alone.
You know what? That's fact. I'm just saying what all that money goes to.
It don't matter. It goes to the child. It goes to the child. Because here's the thing y'all got to understand. So if Tyrese lives in a fucking mansion in Georgia, right? That's one of his homes. He has a home in LA too that I know of. So he has two homes, at least. Both of them are mansions, right? Both of them are multi-million-dollar mansions, right? In great neighborhoods, great school systems, so on and so forth. You expect the mother of his child to live where? In an apartment in Bankhead?
Oh, hell no.
Okay.
It should be equal.
Not equal, but close.
Yeah.
Close, right? Okay, cool. So there you go. That's why 17,000. You know what I'm saying? If she getting $12,000 a month, it makes sense now, right?
Yeah. I just wanted to ask that because I mean that's a lot of bread. That's all.
It's a lot of bread to us because we are broke. He's giving the money he spent, the money he's giving her.
He's rich. It's obviously a lot of money to Tyrese too, and he's rich.
It's not a lot of money to him. It's not a lot of money to Tyrese. Tyrese is not paying his child support because he doesn't like his baby mother, and he feels like most.
Let's be honest for a second. How much do we spend on our kids? You spend that much money on your kids per month?
Spend what?
Hold
on. You're missing the point. You're missing the point. The point isn't do I spend that much money on my kids a month. The point is what percentage of my income do I spend on my kids a month? Which that would be a better question. That's how it works relatively, right? So do I spend what I don't know how much Tyrese makes, but I'm getting $75,000 for him in however many months. It doesn't seem like that much money for him, right? He makes millions of dollars a year. So for me, I spend, I don't know, probably 25% of my income every month on my kids, if not more, just on my kids, like just on my kids. I can tell you in a million ways how I do it too. Insurance, food, and housing. The three big ones. Because I wouldn't, if it was just me and my wife, we would have a 1-bedroom, maybe a 2-bedroom. Instead, we got a 3-bedroom, right? I would be perfectly okay. I don't need a garage. I don't need any of that shit. We don't, you know what I mean? We got workout equipment and shit in there, but I mean, like I could do without it. I would be perfectly fine living in a condo if I, you know what I'm saying, if I didn't have kids. But I got kids. So here we are in a house, in a 3-bedroom house, right? Which costs 40% more than a 1-bedroom. So there you go, right off the bat. I pay around $4,000 a month. So what do you want to say? I would be paying what, $1,500 less a month in rent? That shit crazy.
I appreciate you letting me on here, man.
All right, hustler. Yeah. In rent, like plus food. My wife told me last night, we was talking about it. We spend $2,000 a month in food. $2,000 a month in food right now between me and my wife. Take my kids out of it, $1,000. They eat half the food. So that's $1,000. So that's $2,500 a month between rent and food. Insurance. Let's keep going. What's our insurance? Right? $1,500 or some crazy shit like that. Like the shit is crazy, bro. For a family of 4, what are you talking about? Do you not take it? The question, when y'all be asking these questions, I'll be wondering if y'all have ever taken care of your kids. Like, I'm like, do you actually take care of your kids, or do you just get on the internet and lie and say you do? Because I really be invested in the mind. I don't know what the fuck y'all. I don't know what type of time y'all be on, but yeah, my baby's eating organic. They oh fuck, I didn't even sports activities every weekend. We got memberships to amusement parks. We got fucking we you know what I'm saying? Like these niggas be living. They kids. We want our kids to live a healthy life. Also, we got to live in a certain neighborhood, which we would still live in a nice neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? All of that stuff. Like, and that's just like the stuff I could think of off the top of my head. If we did like just like ancillary spending over there, it's a lot of money. I'm guessing I'm spending close to probably $4,000 a month on my kids, somewhere between, $4 or $5 grand a month, like just on my kids. Right. Which is what do we make? $27,000 a month, $28,000 a month. So $5 grand, whatever that is. I don't know what percentage that is, but it's a lot. It's a lot. It's right. 20%, right? No, what's that? 15%. That's a lot. That's a lot of money we spend on our kids a month. That's all I'm saying. And when they get older, they're going to need more and more shit. Clothes, they're going to be buying shoes and clothes and all of that stuff. Yeah, we spend but that's what I'm saying. Yeah, we got to say, oh yeah, I forgot saving for college, investing for them, all of that stuff. Never mind. I'll keep going. What a sovereign woman.
Hey, what's up? We agree on this. I don't think you can be a good dad and not take care of your kids. I mean, that's just goes without saying. But I want to know y'all personal opinion as to why guys understanding, that if you don't knock women up, you never have to worry about paying child support. Because it seems like the bane of their existence. Like, child support seems like the biggest It's so weird how they dance around and try to come up with studies about child support being a scam. And it's like, just don't. Oh, shit. Sorry, it's just loud in the background. It's like, just don't have a bunch of kids. Like, I don't get why that's so difficult. Why do you think dudes just don't get it?
Well, they do get it. They completely understand.
It seems like they don't, because it's like,
don't.
It seems like the worst thing that can ever happen to them is if they got to pay child support.
It is.
Like,
it is.
It's so simple. It's like, don't have a bunch of kids, or don't even have none.
No.
Or don't knock up a bunch of women. Like, how is that so difficult?
Because men are obsessed and possessed. And I'm gonna mute you real quick, Sovereign. You got a lot of background noise. So men are obsessed and possessed. They really want to, for many reasons. I think the number one reason is men trap women with babies. That's my number. That's the reason. The number one reason I could think of why men have kids, because men don't really invest into their children once they have kids. So here's what I'm saying. For as much as men be talking about having kids and I gotta have some babies and I'm gonna have another baby and I asked a dude yesterday, he already had 2 kids. The kids, by the time his kids are like like a teenager, he talking about he gonna have another kid. I'm like, why would you ever have another kid? Like, you're done. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is, you aren't spending time with the children that are here right now. You want to have another child. I think that's weird. So to me, when men say that, the reason why men are obsessed with having kids is they want to trap women. That's the first thing that comes in my brain is, oh, they're doing this so they can trap women, first and foremost. Then beyond that, they when the woman rejects them, right, based on their behavior and their poor choices, they get upset. They're really, you know what I mean? They feel slighted in some way, shape, or form. So now they turn vindictive, right? And to punish the women, they don't care. The child is just the child is just collateral damage because they never cared about the child to begin with. And that's what it is. That's why a man will abandon a family, go start a new family, and take care of the new family. Because it ain't about taking care of the kids. If it was about taking care of the kids, why aren't you taking care of these other kids that you have, Brian McKnight? Why aren't you taking care of these other children that you helped raise, that you helped make? You know what I'm saying? Like, so that is the proof. Now, mind you, this is all stuff that I had to figure out like later on, because me personally, I never have thought like that about my kids. Before I had kids or after, I wasn't possessed. I was good with not having children. Just FYI, like, this is not like I regret I love my babies. Like, I wanted to have kids when we had them, but I was perfectly content not having kids. I was one of those men, like, I'm good with not having kids. That's fine. If we don't have kids, perfectly okay. It was all good.
Am I echoing?
No, you're good. Appreciate you, Nia.
I did a video about this a few months ago, and I had so many men come on there and a lot of times I'm lying and I don't know nothing about men and I sound stupid. Like, that's the one video that the vast majority of my comments were men telling me I was lying. And I'm like, y'all, I know why they do it. I just don't understand why in 2024, like, if you see what most of these guys like Tyrese and all these guys are going through, why put yourself in the same boat? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Because most men don't go through that shit, sovereign woman. Most men don't go through what Tyrese is going through.
I'm talking about the ones that's complaining about having to pay child support. The only ones that complain are the ones who have they complain about single mothers, and they have made several single mothers themselves.
But they not even. But see, you giving these niggas too much credit. I think them niggas not paying child support. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like they not paying shit.
No, I know, because I joke about how if they are paying, they only paying like parking meter money, like $50 a month, if they even do pay that. So I get it, but I'm
talking about at all. I'm not even talking about the $50. I'm saying most of these dudes are not paying child support at all. That's the reality. And so when they see a Tyrese, they'll use Tyrese, right? They'll use him to try to manipulate other women. Like, see, that's why I don't want to have a baby. You know what I mean? That's why, like, they'll do that. But then they'll continue to have babies because in real life, they know that ain't no fucking punishment for a man if he has a bunch of babies.
So am I wrong then? I'm glad it's coming from you as a guy. So am I wrong to tell women, y'all better be careful? Like if you gonna end up taking care of these kids by yourself because these men are not going to pay child support. They only did it to trap you or to like handicap your life in some way, and they're gonna move on. And I get called a liar all the time by men and women. They tell me I don't know what I'm talking about, and I'm like, okay, so that's your fate if you have kids, especially with men like this.
Yeah, I think most men think like Tyrese.
You said what?
I think most men think like Tyrese.
Oh, I do too.
I think most men think like Tyrese.
I think it's in the high 80.
Yeah, it's high. Whatever. Yeah, it's high as fuck.
90% of men
whether they have kids or not.
Whether they exactly. Whether they have kids or not is irrelevant. They will use. Damn, Sovereign. You sound like you getting into it. You sound like you getting thrown up against the goddamn washer and dryer. Right?
Still using that outcast from international players about Paul McCartney and his wife, and they don't even got his money.
Exactly. Nowhere near Paul McCartney money. Nowhere near. Yeah. But so these men just use what is Sovereign Woman's channel? The Sovereign Woman, that's her channel. These men just use this is all a ploy, right? Like that, like they love, dude. These dudes don't never actually produce. These dudes don't never actually produce like facts to substantiate any of this shit, right? It's usually like I saw a video. I saw a video of X, Y, and Z. Look at all these women on TikTok that's saying it. Like it's always that. It's never like, oh no, these are the numbers that actually are saying da 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 da. This is what it actually says. In reality, nothing these dudes like their greatest fears don't ever happen to men. Like it just doesn't happen. Like women don't get with men for money. Women don't leave men just because. Women don't be like it's just not a reality, man. Most men aren't fucking in getting thrown in prison because they can't pay child support or they won't pay child support. It's just not a real thing. But these dudes, they just lie. Like they just, you know what I'm saying? Like they just make it like it's like they try to really they artificially inflate that shit. They artificially inflate that shit and be like, nah, it's a real thing. These women out here taking advantage of us. And whole time, it was never that. It was always you. It was always Tyrese. He was always the problem, right? Oh, obviously that man was the problem. Obviously. Because the way that I look at it, the way that I look at this situation is very similar to the way that I look at how men talk about protection, right? Men, when they talk about protecting women, specifically women, they'll be like, oh, well, women need to be more nice to us so that we could protect them. Because why would I not want to protect a person? Why would I protect a person? Why would I want to protect a person who isn't being nice to me? Right? So essentially they're saying their protection is transactional. Right? It's not like I'm just going to protect this person because protecting people is what should just be done, whether I like a person or not. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to protect them. I'll use an example of a movie. If anybody's ever seen Spider-Man, the first one, you know, not the first one, but the one with Tobey Maguire, and that dude wronged him, right? When he wrestled and he gave him like $100 or whatever, and he said he pinned him in 2 or whatever, and he gave him his $100, and he was like, "Not my problem." And then the guy was running down the street, and then he could have stopped him, but he didn't. And it regardless of, don't make that dude make you a bad. Like, if you're a good person, nobody can make you a bad person. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody can make, like, so if that dude was an asshole and you hated how he treated you, then shouldn't you, moving forward, make sure you don't treat other people like that? Because you're like, well, damn, I hated to be treated like that. So moving forward, I'm going to make sure that I don't treat people like that. Right? That's how I look at men who try to punish women by not paying child support and try to blame it's like, if you were a good man, the way you guys are up here getting on the internet crying about, right? Y'all love to get on the internet. You love to fucking go on the Breakfast Club. And it's been tough. No, what the Charlamagne, keep the paper towel away. I don't want it. I want him to see my tears. You doing all this fucking acting and shit, right? You trying to win a goddamn Emmy. Just to turn around and get locked up for not paying child support, it shows me that you are actually not a good person. The person you tried to act like you were during the relationship, and you act like this woman just divorced you for no reason, you're not a good, like, if you were a good person, you would still be treating her good right now. Because that's who you would be, right? Wouldn't that just be who you would be naturally? You would just be a good person, like, cool, like, hey man, I ain't about to punish my kid. I ain't about to, hey, she left, that's fucked up. I feel hurt, but I still got to pay for this baby. I got to do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm hurt, but I still got to, like, you got to set your pride. That's what good people do. Instead, what is he doing? Not paying. Why is he not paying? Because he's hurt? Because he's bitter? Because his ego is bruised? I couldn't imagine. Tyrese got a girlfriend right now, as far as I know. If Tyrese got a girlfriend, how the fuck are you, like, okay with a nigga not paying child support? And I'm not blaming her for any of this stuff, but I'm just saying, like, how the fuck does that look to that person? I've been trying to figure that shit out. Like, you in a relationship with a person and this motherfucker not paying child support. How does that look to you? Like, how are you like rationalizing that in your mind? How are you looking at this man like, oh, that's a good man, Savannah? Like, that shit is crazy to me. Go ahead, Nee.
How are you today?
What up, fat? Hold on, Nee was here. She was waiting.
Go ahead, Nee. Sorry.
You good?
No worries. Good morning, everybody. So first, to answer the prompt, it doesn't make you a good father if you don't support your children. Now, of course, if you financially cannot do so, I would hope that you would be providing more physical help with the child so that the mother could go out and do more financially. But to answer the prompt, there's that. But to respond to some of the things that I've been hearing this morning it's a little strange to me, and maybe it's because I'm a very proactive person, so maybe that's just me. But you can always use legal aid, which is free or reduced price if you need to file a loan. There are also tons of people who help fathers get custody or help with child support. Also, remember, a lot of women don't apply for child support, including myself, because we feel as though the father of our children are not great people.
Mm-hmm.
So we choose to fall on our swords, okay, and take responsibility 100% for something that was a two-person thing. Also, men, women, children, dogs, cats, whoever, you can actually appeal your child support for reductions and modifications based off of changes in your life, just like insurance. Also, child support is not just financial dollars being given to a mother. It's also things like insurance and so on and so forth, so that she doesn't have to worry about those things. I think people get so myopic and forget what it's really about.
Mm-hmm.
So,
facts. What up, Talisa?
Hey, I've been laughing at you in the comments, but I just wanted to say, like, Tyrese, Tyrese, as you've been calling him, that's cracking me up. Tyrese is the same man who won't pay his baby mama or his ex-wife child support, but if he got custody tomorrow, will hire a nanny. Hire a nanny and a stranger to come in and take care of the kid, but won't give the mother of your child that same money so that she can take care of the kid. Because best believe them celebrity nannies is not cheap.
Not at all.
Not gonna be asking for. They're gonna be asking for 6 figures if you get one of them celebrity nannies. So you won't give the mother of your child that money, but you'll give a complete stranger the money to take care of your kid. This is how you know it ain't really about paying it. This is about you punishing the woman, making it difficult for her, because how dare she choose to not be with you? How dare she leave you? And that's the real reason why you're choosing not to pay that child support. It ain't got nothing to do with nothing else other than that. And the same, like the guy earlier was saying, like, oh, well, you know, what, she won't let me see my kid or something like that. It's like, if you're paying your child support, don't you know in the same way the court will hold you in contempt for not paying it? The court will hold her in contempt for not allowing you to see your child. The child support isn't a one-way thing unless you're a terrible person. If you're a terrible person, then child support does become one way and you gotta, you know, have supervised visit with the kids. But if you're a decent person and you're doing right and you're out here working and you care about your kids, the court will mandate that you have access to your children. And if she be difficult with allowing you to see and have access to the kids, the court will hold her in contempt and will take the kids from her and give them to you. So a lot of them don't want the kids and don't want to be financially responsible for them either. Want to be part-time weekend parents, or, you know, I'll come when it's graduation time or when he about to kick off in the NFL. I'll show up around then, but I don't want to have to be there for all the hard stuff. I don't want to have to sacrifice. And I want you, woman, to suffer because how dare you not be with me?
I can personally attest to that. My kid's father has 3 other children, and he's constantly talking about that lady. He's constantly not helping her. He's constantly sending the kids to his mama when it is his time to have them. He's constantly complaining about his child support payments, but not going to get it figured out. At the end of the day, if you feel like it's an unjust situation, just like anything else, fight that. Why don't you care when it comes to your children? It's so... that really irks me so bad. It's like, stop doing things in women if you don't want to take care of the responsibilities. It's crazy.
It's fact. Yeah, I just be wanting them to stop lying, and stop like coming out in public and being on some, like, they go on these, like, especially the celebrities, right? But I've seen women, I've seen men who aren't celebrities, they just do it online, right? They just, you know, but they love to come out and start telling us how terrible that woman is and she hiding that baby from me. I'm gonna tell y'all something right now. If you come online and you telling me that the mother of your child is keeping the kids away from you, that I am instantly giving you a bombastic side eye, because you are probably abusive. Like, I'm gonna guess in 90% of cases, that's what it is. She's like hell bent on you not seeing your kids. She's hell bent on keeping the kids away from you. Yeah, you abusive. You're neglectful. She don't trust you with them babies. That's it. Like, y'all not about to sit here and tell me that it's this many women out here knowing what I know about raising kids with a partner. Raising kids without a partner seems diabolical, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, and there's something, I don't know, there's something else there too, like, about the human condition that just makes it even worse when you can see the motherfucker. Like, you know, that person is here, like that person ain't passed away. You know what I mean? Like, that person is here, like, well, and living on the other side of town. You bump into them at, you know, at Whole Foods every now and again, like, and this motherfucker just like not paying nothing. Yeah, I'm sorry. Y'all not about to, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. You need to, the only way I would believe y'all is if you can substantiate some evidence, like a recording of her, like, or multiple recordings of her if need be. I need video proof. I need other people's story. Like, I will never take your word for that shit, man. I will never take your word for that shit. This motherfucker's on this app right now crying every day. Every day. Lying about not being able to see their kids, talking about the baby mother just being vindictive and all of that stuff. And then you peep the person. Listen to what I'm saying. The same way I'm clocking Tyrese is the same way I be clocking these dudes that say this shit, right? I'm listening to him and I'm like, this dude is just, I'm just going to put it plainly. This guy is like not a good guy. Like you could just listen to him. Like he's not a good guy. He's very vain. He's self-centered, very narcissistic. You know what I'm saying? Narcissistic tendencies, I should say. I don't know if he's narcissistic, but narcissistic tendencies. Very, you know what I'm saying? Like you just watching him like
Have you seen his Club Shay interview?
Who? Tyrese?
Yeah, Tyrese, yeah.
I want to say I've seen clips of it.
Mm-hmm.
What was?
He gave off that arrogance, he gave off all that with
The entitlement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you could. That's what I'm saying. You see that shit oozing from them when the woman's not there. This is them masking. The woman's not there. There's no need for that to come out when the woman's not around, right? Let them tell it. Now it's just them talking to their homies, and you just see it. You're like, okay, there's no way in hell you about to convince me that this dude is just like this upstanding man, and this woman just said, "Nah, I wanted you to myself, and you just want to go out and chase other vaginas, and I'm gonna punish you for that." Like that's what men do. That's what men do. Men feel entitled to women's bodies. Women don't feel entitled to men's bodies, generally speaking. Yes, you can find a woman that feels that way, but these motherfuckers be acting like it's every other woman. And I'm like, nah, I don't buy it. I'm not buying that. I'm not seeing that. Go ahead, Annie.
I definitely feel like you're onto something with that. I remember years ago when he had married that, I think his last ex-wife or whatever the situation is with that other lady. Mm-hmm. And I remember him in the Shade Room comments talking about how Black women are upset that he chose outside of his race and all these different things. And the reality is who cares about that? But clearly you see her like a prop. And she played you like a fiddle. And now you're mad again. When the issue was really you from the beginning, because what you said when you said that in those comments was you just chose her. Why? Because you thought that made you look a certain way or it gave you a certain status? Like, what is that about? I feel like you being a terrible person, low key, is why you kind of went to jail for 24 to 48 hours. Be better. Do better.
I think that's exactly what happened.
On to that with me, I think that's why the girlfriend that he with now is more of a karma situation, because she's more like a baby chick herself. She's young. I don't think that from what he puts on the internet, she doesn't seem to be that into him. She's into Tyrese, the celebrity, and he's getting his karma from that young lady.
Interesting. Yeah, my people saw her. They was like, man, she bad, and of course they loved all of that stuff about it. But yeah, I don't know what's going on over there. But all right, y'all. I'm gonna rotate y'all, man. I appreciate everybody coming up. I got some people in the queue. I'm gonna try to get through this queue before we done. What up, Liz?
Hey, Public, how are you?
Good.
Good. You know what's wild about all of this is like men will then turn around because like I heard those men up here talking about how women aren't entitled to child support and just kind of trying to use any excuse in the book not to pay. Well, they do that. So many men do that. And then they will come online and say things like, well, women have more child abuse cases against them than men do. What are those child abuse cases?
Neglect.
They're neglect. So many of them are neglect. And it's like, it is wild. It is wild work to not pay your child support, let a woman like fall into poverty and be unable to pay for the basic essentials for her child. And then she's got like an abuse case against her. And then you get online and you're like, look at these women are not taking care of their kids. Look at all these child abuse cases. When the reality is that men abuse their children more when we're talking about physical abuse and sexual abuse and all that stuff. That the bulk of women's child abuse cases against them are neglect.
So, and neglect.
And then beyond that to say...
And neglect, though, Liz. And neglect. Don't nobody neglect their kids more than a man.
But they don't get I don't think that counts against them for abuse, though. Like, you cannot... if the kid doesn't live with you, you're not going to get a neglect charge against
No, I know. I'm saying in reality, I ain't talking about the cases. I'm just saying, like, observably, who the fuck neglects their kids more than the father? Like, what are you talking? Like, we know. As a man, I know. Like, dude, my wife, the moms, they be knowing. Oh my God, they just be knowing. Like, I remember seeing shit like the baby will be over the homie house, and then like the baby didn't eat all day, and then the mom will come home and have to feed the baby.
Oh my God.
Like shit like that. Like, oh, I forgot. And I mean, and what I'm saying is like, it wasn't like the homie was like actually like, yeah, fuck that little baby.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't that. It was like, I just fucking like, fuck that. You know what I mean? Like, they wasn't thinking about it. They was playing video games. They were talking to me like, you know, I shouldn't say I've seen it. I've heard it before though. Like, I remember the scenario. Like, she came in and they started having a conversation. She was like, oh no, he ain't ate, and yada, yada, yada. And he was like, I gotta go make food. And I'm sitting there like, oh wow, like that, like how many hours was it? That shit happens all the time. Has he eaten yet? Has the kids eaten yet? No, no, I was gonna make him something. It's 2:30. The mama, the baby's done ate at 11 o'clock. Or a lot of times the babies don't even ask the dad to make them anything because the dad, you know what I'm saying? Because most of the time daddy don't make them shit. So they wait for the mom to come home and then be like, hey, can I get some food? And then she's like, oh, you haven't fed the kids? Oh no, they didn't ask me for anything. They're kids. You got to go to them and be like, it's lunchtime. What do you guys want to eat?
They've learned not to associate the father with getting their needs met, so they just don't even try.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Because dads are neglectful. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's tons of videos and tons of studies, but we see it all the time. Like, that's what I'm saying. So when men be trying to act like, oh no, these women just abusing these kids, like, bro, if the numbers were switched, if 85% of men were the custodial parents, every bad metric would go up exponentially for children.
Right. That's absolutely true. And that's why I wish that we could usher in the era of like the deadbeat mother. I really do, because women are not ever going to start treating men the way that they've treated us for thousands of years. We're not going to do that. We're not going to, like, the violence and all that. That's never going to happen. But one way we could maybe get back at them a little bit is handing them the kids and becoming the deadbeat mother. But we can't do that because you can't always trust men. Oftentimes, you cannot trust men with kids, and when we're not going to, put our kids in dangerous situations like that.
Mm-hmm. Hold on, wait. Y'all in the comments complaining about the damn shirt. God damn it.
I like the shirt.
No, they can't read the comments.
Oh, okay.
They said the comments is messing with their eyes. I've seen like 5 or 6 people say that shit. So okay, I'll be back. You keep going. I'm gonna go on. Hold on. Let me change my shirt, y'all. Damn. Let me change my shirt. Hold me down real quick, Kay.
Okay.
Hey, Liz. And I was gonna say it's giving me a migraine. It's upsetting me and my homegirls, so I gotta pop a Nurtec. Yeah, the lines. Yeah.
Yeah, I think when I make my live backgrounds, because I don't necessarily I'm not necessarily on the live the whole time, but you got to make sure that it's like a dark enough background, like all the way down, because otherwise, you're gonna get messed up there.
I'm kind of upset that Bugsy ran because I wanted to give him a piece of my mind. I specifically requested up when he was up. Hey, Booski's in the chat.
Oh, perfect. Can you guys read the comments now?
I like that with the flower. Come on the floor.
It's better. Okay.
I love that shirt.
Send me that shirt.
I know. I love it.
To the first. To the first of next month. No, but I was saying I was hoping to that Bugsby Bugs Bunny head ass would have stayed up here. Because he really tried to make a compelling argument against men taking care of their kids.
Mm-hmm.
Just on like GP, like you. Okay. I don't understand why men's rebuttal all the time is if she needs child support, she doesn't need the kids. If she has to live off child support, she doesn't need the kids. She need to give the kids to the daddy. Okay. Meanwhile, they only paying $400 a month. How's she living off that, Sway?
I don't know.
Who's going to Dubai? Who's getting wigs, and lashes with $400 a month?
I get $400 a month, and it is gone before I get it. Like, it's just like, it's gone within a couple days.
It's mind-boggling to me. And then Tyrese's argument, because when I watched R&B Money when he did his thing, they did like a 2-part thing on R&B Money of Tyrese, and he went through the whole story. The whole time I'm thinking, all you're doing is talking about your emotions, how you were hurt, how you felt used, etc. You ain't say shit about that baby. And mind you, they did 2 parts. Each part public was 2 hours. So they talked to this nigga, like, again, with editing, it might have been more than that, but technically 4 hours. And you ain't mentioned shit about making sure your baby had what he needed at the time. The baby was 1 when she took the baby. And initially, he said that he came home to her having packed up. Sir, why didn't she think it would be safe to talk to you, to tell you, confront you?
Mm-hmm.
Why did she think it would be a problem? Why would she have to pack up and leave? And she went to her parents' house. He then drove the hour to her parents' house. Now, he said this, so this ain't no shit I'm making up. He drove an hour to her parents' house, asked them to tell her to come outside. He said the mama was acting funny, blah, blah, blah. And she wouldn't come outside. And all this over a $7 sundress. Like, when I met her, she was wearing stuff from like the thrift store, and she was talking about how simple she was. And now she needs $20,000 a month to take care of a baby.
You elevated her lifestyle. Your fault. That's why you should. That's when the men's be complaining, or when the men's be talking about, oh yeah, we could. I don't care about her education, and I don't care. That was weird. How did both people got dropped? The sound went out. That was weird. It just dropped. That was crazy. Hold on. That was really strange. I've never seen that happen before. They just dropped both guests. Like, it just dropped both guests like out of nowhere. Hey, y'all, come back. I don't know why it dropped y'all. I don't know why it just dropped you. I wasn't even
disconnected by the live creator, so it might have dropped both of us.
Yeah, it dropped both of y'all. It wasn't me. I didn't do it.
But you were saying you elevated her lifestyle. That's what happens when you.
Yeah, if you don't care about the like, that's what happens when you don't care about like the education of a woman, and you don't care about, like what she got. Somebody said they reporting the page, probably, but they can't. But what are we saying? We're not saying that y'all ain't got to report the page. Just come on up. Why y'all be? I know y'all lurking. I know y'all gonna put me in the background and be like, he was talking about men paying child support. That's all y'all always like to hold alive and cry about me later. Stop being so scary, man. But yeah, if you don't care about what a woman makes, and you are willing to get a woman who makes little to no money compared to you, and then elevate her lifestyle, you must maintain that lifestyle, especially if you have a baby with that woman. Like, I will say, if you have a baby with that woman, you must maintain that lifestyle for the duration of that child's life until that child is an adult. And I ain't talking about 18. I'm saying like 25. Like, like you gotta.
It's the same thing with divorced people. Like if you marry someone and you elevate their lifestyle to the point where, again, in the court documents will specifically say you're to maintain it in the manner to which they are accustomed.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's the precedent that you set, you damn well have to manage, because what does it look like? Your baby come to your house and he living in a mansion, and then he go back with his mama and he living in a 1-bedroom apartment.
It don't make no sense.
It don't.
It don't make no sense. That's what I'm saying. The shit don't ever add up.
And then to add insult to injury, when I understood what the girl was saying, like if you send them to jail, how are they gonna pay their child support? If you take their license, how are they gonna go to work to pay child support? Blah blah blah. All of that is fine, well and good, except for this, ma'am and sir. What were you doing when you had a license and a job?
Mm-hmm.
You were fucking evading. What were you doing when you had your liberties and you knew you were getting behind? When you knew you were getting those letters in the mail? When you showed up to court and they gave you that judgment and you told them, okay, the judge was like, okay, this is what you got to pay. You know you can go over to that counter and you can make a payment arrangement for your arrears, and they can wrap that into your new monthly payment.
Mm-hmm.
So you won't have to pay if you're 20,000 behind. You won't have to pay that up front. They'll just break those down into little payments, kind of like put you on a payment plan.
Mm-hmm.
So nobody's going to jail simply because they did not pay. You're going to jail because you are evading the law.
Yep.
You are in fucking contempt of court.
Mm-hmm.
So let's stop conflating the issue about the going to jail and the license thing. Because again, when you had your license and when you had that fucking job, you job hopped and you was riding around not taking care of them babies.
That's facts. Andrew Lake, what's good?
What's good, bro?
Chilling.
Yeah, no, this is actually, I think, a rare time where I actually sort of agree with you. If a man doesn't provide for their kids, they're not a good father. But I think we have to approach this problem a little bit differently, you know? When you're not married and you don't maintain the nuclear family, you're less likely going to have successful outcomes. So we need to be promoting marriage in our society to make sure there's a structure there to ensure men are paying what they need. We need providers. We need to remove the beta males, and we need to bring back alphas, you know? Once we bring that back, we're going to have a better society.
Most men aren't providers. Most men aren't interested in providing.
Well, that's why we have to bring marriage back. You have to bring back morals.
What does that have to do with providing, though?
They're going to take care of their kids, you know?
No, sir. What does it matter if the kid is here? What? Nothing else matters after that, right? Because the kid is here. So you don't like the wife, she don't like you. The family unit is it don't fucking matter. The baby is here. So what are you going to do now? If men are providers, then why wouldn't they just provide no matter what? That's what a provider is supposed to do, right?
No, I agree. But the problem is men don't know their place because they've reverted back to not having traditional values. Like they don't have, so they're lost.
But wait, hold on. I think you're missing what I'm saying. Traditionally, men aren't providers. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Traditionally, we're not.
It's in men's DNA.
See that? Don't do that. Don't do the science talk because it's not in our DNA to be providers. It's in our DNA. Look, from what I've seen, I don't know what's in our DNA, but I can tell you what I've seen. What I've seen is men abandoning their children. That's what I've seen, right? But I think that and it's in our DNA to stay. I think it's in our DNA to raise the kids, but then society tells us we don't have to stay and tells us that if a woman doesn't want to be with you, then you're not obligated to take care of that child, and you should punish that woman and fuck that kid, right? And I don't mean it in that sense, but and don't care about that baby. That's what we learn. That's what we learn. We learn to treat our children that way. We learn to treat women that way. That's what I see. You're not about to tell me that men are naturally providers based on what?
So you're providing for your kid right now. You seem like a decent guy. I know you're providing for your kid. But is that a social obligation or is that a legal obligation?
Don't ask me personally, because I'm not like the rest of these niggas in this regard. This is one thing where I'm gonna separate myself all day long. I don't give a fuck. My babies are my life. Like, they are my kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have never had a problem paying. I've told y'all this 1,000 times. If me and my wife got divorced, I don't give a fuck if she cheated on me. I'm going to support her and them babies after the fact. I don't care, because they are here. I made that obligation. Fuck the wedding ring. Fuck none of that shit matters. Once those babies are here, I am morally obligated to take care of these kids. They did not ask to be here. They don't care about how, if they mama is a 304, they don't care about if they daddy's a 304. They don't care if they mama was is never wanted to sleep with their daddy. It don't matter if they daddy slept with 10 secretaries at the, like, none of that matters. They are here now. And to me, that is it's one of the lowest things you can do as a human being, is to abandon your kids for any reason. I cannot imagine a logical reason to abandon your kids. If the only reason why is if you being in their lives is more unsafe and you create more instability. Like, let's say you are clinically schizophrenic, right? And you just, you know what I mean? Like, there's a threat of violence there. You neglect them. Like, you just can't be in their lives. You know what I'm saying? Cool. Like, I'll give you a pass on that. Be short of that, I can't think of anything else. Why aren't you in there? Why aren't you in their life? There's not a job I can imagine. There's nothing. There's nothing I can think of that would make me be like that. Yeah, I get that. I get why you wouldn't be there. And lastly, financially, you should always be in their lives. Financially, at the very least, right? So men are not providers. I need for men to stop telling that lie. Old school men weren't providers. New school men aren't providers. Men aren't providers. That's not what we do. We are neglectors. We are abusers. We are manipulators. We are users. Provider, nowhere in the mix. Go ahead, Kay.
Oh, I had a question for a bid, and not me typing out schizoaffective disorder while you were saying schizophrenia. I was like, So a bid. My question is, if you put this onus on men, which I can appreciate as a woman. However, in the same breath, you demonize, and I've heard you in the past, you demonize single moms for being single moms, but you don't recognize the fact that they are actively taking care of their children. They are providing for their children. They are putting their children first, but the men get to opt out. Why is that? Why you got so much hate for single mothers?
Not single mom. If you were married and the guy left, that's one thing. But if you have the baby out of wedlock, there's an onus of you that you should have made better choices.
What does that have to do with the baby being here now? Like, what are y'all talking about? The baby is here now. Choice is better. That ship has sailed, sir. The baby is here now. What? You want to punish the baby? You're rationalizing punishing the child?
No. You should provide for the kid.
That's it. That's it.
But there's a collection of, like, you don't think there's any moral obligation to, like, choose better, make good choices.
The choice was made, Abid. That's what we're trying to tell you.
Yeah,
the kid is here. The kid is born. The mom is actively taking care of the child. It sounds like you just want single moms to suffer or struggle because they made a decision, which was one night, one nut. Okay, but that's over. The baby here. Why do you feel like women should still be punished, but men shouldn't for not taking care of their kids?
No, both sides should have some obligations. Obviously, the man has more of a moral obligation in terms of financially providing.
No, he doesn't.
But she is providing.
You shouldn't even
she
get to the
stayed
point
and
that
provides.
she's a single mother. That's the point.
Why would
she stayed and provides?
Why would a man have more of an obligation? See how weird that is?
Because men are the ones who need to put food on the table.
They're not. It's both of their obligation. A bit. Stop. Hold on, sir. Hold on. Stop with this. You don't, like, y'all, you will skip past the obvious simple thing to go to this far right bullshit. Like, sir, let's just stick in reality. It is both parties' obligation to provide for the child. It is both parties' obligation to show up for the child emotionally, whatever the case may be. There is no need in doing this fake virtue signaling like, oh yeah, men should really be the provider. Like, that's bullshit. We're not. Stop doing that. That's unnecessary. That is an unnecessary strain that you're putting onto men. It doesn't make any sense. Women work. Women have jobs. Women make money. Women can provide for children. They do it every day. That's not the problem. The problem is men won't. Men don't. Men don't step up financially. Men don't step up when they're in the home. And they're like, even to your point, the thing that I always find funny is the man and the woman are together and married. The men still don't show up for the kids. Even when they're together in the house, the man doesn't show up for the kids. You see what I'm saying? So I'm like, how are you not understanding that men just aren't interested in having children? We're all we want to do is trap women with babies. At the end of the day, we want to trap women with babies because we know or we think if we put a baby in this woman, she's going to be more reluctant to leave me. She's going to be more dependent on me. Can I actually live up to, to the obligations? No. But I want her to need to depend on. That's that whole I'd rather be needed than wanted. That's exactly what it is. Think about that mindset. You would rather be needed than wanted. Okay, so what do? Get a woman pregnant? Because there ain't gonna come a time in life when a woman needs you more than when she got a child with you.
You don't think people have kids for the means of like developing a purpose in their life?
That's a crazy reason to have a child. No. And I'm not saying that they don't. I'm not saying that people don't do that. I don't need a kid to have a purpose. My kids, they are a purpose of mine. They're not my sole purpose, but they are a huge purpose of mine. But I have multiple purposes, right? I've developed them. I have come up with my own, you know what I'm saying? But overall, my purpose as a human being in general is to cause as little damage as I can and to be as to contribute as much as I can positively to society. That's my, as a human being, that's my holistic, purpose, right? And I try to do that, right? I try to mitigate my damage. I try, whatever I can do. Like, I don't want to be out here hurting people and, just ruining people left and right and da 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 da. But I never needed a child to have a purpose. I had a purpose long before I had kids. You know what I'm saying? I always thought I had a purpose. When I was 10 years old, I thought I had a purpose. So if your purpose is contingent upon having a child, what happens if that child is no longer here with us? Now you don't have a purpose. Now what? You gonna start hurting people, or you gonna jump off a bridge? Which one you gonna do? What about the people who don't have kids? Do they not have a purpose? It's weird.
No, I mean, people who have families and who are married tend to be less depressed. So I mean, there's a correlation there. So it gives people fulfillment,
People or men? Because I think women who have children and have men are more depressed than women who don't. Mothers and wives are more depressed than single women without babies.
You don't think women feel like a sense of like happiness from nursing their baby? And
I do.
There's inherent nature to there.
I do. No, I'm not disagreeing with that. I do think a lot of women, most women, love raising their kids. I do believe that. I wish I could say the same thing about men, though.
But a bit, loving your children, loving to raise them, loving to pour into them, that's outside of what you're trying to attach a duty to. Like, oh, I woke up and I feel like I am called to be a mom and I'm called to have kids and blah, blah, blah. Like, you on some be fruitful and multiply type stuff. Like, no, kids should not be your purpose because, again, they're not here for you. They just, you are a conduit, so to speak, but they're not your identity. Does that make sense? Like, you shouldn't be leaning on no kid for your self-fulfillment. That's nasty word.
Yeah, I don't never.
Kids are your legacy.
No, they're not.
You're gonna pass away, but your kids are gonna live on.
No, your kids are
They
not
carry
your
on the
legacy.
bloodline.
They're not. What is a legacy?
How you're remembered.
Okay.
And like,
Okay. So your legacy is are your actions, not your kids. That's your lineage. Because how you're remembered is going to be based on your character and your actions and how you treated people and what you've done for society or to society, right? That's your legacy. Your lineage is your bloodline. You can have a lineage and no legacy. The vast majority of human beings have a lineage and no legacy. I don't know shit about I don't know shit about half my grandparents, let alone my great grandparents. What's their legacy? Nothing. Their own lineage doesn't know about them. You think other people know about them? Probably not. Right? So no, your legacy and your lineage are totally separate. Over here on YouTube's Zero Tolerance, you can come up. I don't know if my mods are in here, but mods, if you guys find him, Zero Tolerance, you can mute him for the live. That person, I would love to hear from Zero Tolerance. Let me know if you can come up. Put you can come up in the chat, and I'll put the link in there. Styling Twins, if you find Zero Tolerance, you can mute him for the live. I will invite him up. If he wants to come up, he can just say he wants to come up, and I'll invite him up.
What will your legacy be, Abid?
no, it's my works, but I think
No, I'm saying what. Okay, well, what would yours be? Tell us a little bit about what your legacy looks like.
I've done things. I've given to charities, put effort. I built a well in Africa once. Like things like that. I mean, it's a plan.
Yeah.
But it's long term. Yeah. But children are inner legacy. Your bloodline will live on. They'll remember you.
It's not a legacy. It's lineage. It's not a legacy. I promise you, it's not. I'm not my father's legacy. You know what I mean?
Think about this. Imagine if you don't reproduce and you don't have works. You want people to remember you.
Well, wait. You said works. Wait, you said works. You said works, right?
Yeah, raising your kids is part of the works.
I know, but beyond that. So, have you ever heard of George Washington Carver?
No, educate me.
So George Washington Carver was once upon a time he was a slave, free slave, and he ended up becoming a brilliant scientist, right? He just had a natural, he just had a proclivity for botany and just how things worked. He was a genius. And it's been rumored that he was actually castrated as a slave, but we don't know that that's not confirmed, but that's whatever. But he never had kids, right? George Washington Carver never had kids. He is rumored that he was the reason for the modern day plant, the automotive plant specifically, because Henry Ford came to him and asked him for some help, and he actually developed the plant format, how it works, right? How they put together cars and whatnot. And they said George Washington Carver came up with that. That's why they call it a plant, by the way. And he was a botanist or whatever. So anyways, in America, we know George Washington Carver, right? George Washington Carver was freaking awesome, right? He invented peanut butter, or he discovered it, I should say. Maybe he invented it. I don't know what you would call that. But he so if you've ever had peanut butter, that's the guy who you can thank George Washington Carver for that, because he did tons of things with peanuts. And he doesn't have kids, but his legacy lives on forever, right? Like I said about my grandparents, though, and my great grandparents, I should say, they don't have a legacy. I don't know shit about them, but they had kids. They had tons of kids. They had tons of kids between them. Tons of kids. My grandma had 6 kids on both sides, so they had 12 kids between them, right? I know about my granddaddy, barely only met him, 2 or 3 times. I don't know on my dad's side. I don't know anything about my grandfather on my mother's side. He abandoned them. I don't know anything, you know what I mean? And I don't know anything about my mom's grandparents. I don't know anything about them whatsoever. That's what I'm trying to tell you. But I know a lot about George Washington Carver. And he never had kids. That's my point. So no, your kids aren't your legacy. Y'all got to get off of that, bro. It's a weird thing. Y'all got to stop. Men, if you can, and here's the thing, Andrew, if men really saw children as their legacy, they wouldn't abandon them. Right? You want your...
They don't know their purpose, though. They don't know. They haven't instilled that moral responsibility into them because they don't know. They've negated traditional values. So we return back to traditionalism.
Did you not
feel that social obligation and moral obligation that they have to provide?
So you do realize Attila the Hun. You know who Attila the Hun was?
Yes.
You know what one of his claims to fame is?
Didn't he murder a lot of people?
That, yep. But he also did the opposite of that. He procreated. They say he's responsible for more children than any man in human history, any person in human history. Him.
Was it Genghis Khan?
Genghis Khan, right?
Oh yeah.
What did I say? Who did I say?
Attila the Hun.
I'm sorry, not Attila the Hun. I'm sorry, Genghis Khan. I don't know why the fuck I said Attila. Genghis Khan. Yeah, Genghis Khan did that. Genghis Khan unalived a bunch of people, but he also impregnated. Will Chamberlain didn't stand a chance, right? His numbers pale in comparison, allegedly. So he had a bunch of kids. Like that is a. You want to talk about? You want to go back that far? Like men have always, the men that could impregnate a bunch of women and just abandon them did it. It's just now we can do it more because back then you couldn't move, you couldn't leave. You know what I'm saying? It was just societally, it was harder to do it, but men still did it. Don't get me wrong. Especially men with power and influence. Now, though, it's very easy for men to procreate with women and leave them. Very easy to do that. Very easy to do that. It's super duper easy for men to do that now, right?
And not to mention, traditionally, it was legal for men to physically abuse their wives, sexually abuse their wives, have several families. Like, that was okay traditionally. Slavery was okay traditionally. Like, what? Why y'all want to go back to traditional values so bad, where other people were subjugated to men? Why y'all want to go back to that?
Social level, I'm going to take religion out of it entirely because it's not a religious topic, but there's declining birth rates, and you need a certain
What's wrong with that?
People paying into the pension.
What's wrong with that?
To keep the population going.
What's wrong with
the system's going to collapse? So you need to keep people procreating.
That's not true.
In order to keep society advancing.
That's not true.
Otherwise, you're going to have to import a lot more immigrants.
That's not true.
In order to keep up with the workforce to replace the retiring boomers.
Not true at all.
Cycle for the economy.
Not true at all. We could just change how our economy functions. We can go from a war-based economy to a resource-based economy, and that would all change overnight. We don't need to keep feeding a large percentage of our population goes and fights in wars overseas for resources and for rich people, right? So no, you're wrong. The birth rate declining also has happened many a times throughout history, and it's perfectly okay when it happens. It's it's perfectly okay when the birth rate declines. It's not a big deal.
Why would people want to have babies with men who don't stay? Wouldn't you think the birth rate is declining because women don't want to end up single mothers?
Definitely. The birth rate is declining because women are just they don't want to be in men. They don't want to be around men. Like, just to put it simply, the birth rate is the best form of contraception right now is men. It's our attitudes, it's our disposition, right? That's it. Like that's the long and the short of it. Is like that's what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So no, I disagree. I don't think the declining birth rates is an issue for society one bit. You know what I'm saying? I think to me I won't say it's a good or a bad sign. I just think it's like it makes sense. You know?
I think it's Bill Gates, that agenda they're trying to push population control. Elon Musk said, we actually have a population problem, so we need more people in order to sustain the future. So I mean, if we follow that narrative, Bill Gates, they're just going to have everybody like sterilized. It's not the way to go. We need to have more people reproducing.
But Bill Gates doesn't think that about Americans. He's talking about brown people in countries that we need to exploit. He doesn't really believe we have a population problem. He knows that. He says that though, so he can justify sterilizing a bunch of women in Africa or in India or in China. That's what he wants. That's what he wants to do, right? Because they're competition, and he wants to steal their resources. That's what it is. And Elon Musk is a fucking idiot. So I don't know why you would even mention him. They're both pretty. Bill Gates and Elon Musk are both idiots to me in my book. In my book, I don't respect much that they have to say. I've listened to them speak before. Both of them, if they're not idiots, I think they're two. They're one and the same thing because they just lie so much that it makes them look dumb. You know what I'm saying?
But y'all, I thought we overpopulated though.
We're not overpopulated. That's made up. You can fit everybody on the planet Earth inside of Texas. We're not. There's an abundance of resources in America. I mean, in the world, if we stop abusing them.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like the planet can sustain human life, even with 8 billion of us here. We can go. I don't know what the number. I think it can go way higher than 8 billion, right? But we have to live in tandem with nature and not against it. We right now we're fighting against nature. We're destroying nature, and so it's hurting us. But if we lived with nature, like I don't know if you guys have read about this. I thought this was like one of the most interesting things ever. One of the most interesting things I've ever read in my life. I don't know why, but I live in California and I hike a lot, right? Or I used to. I don't do it anymore. But I went to the mountains a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? If you're from Cali, you beach, mountains, you know what I'm saying? That's what we do. But long story short, a long time ago, there used to be indigenous tribes that populated California. And, the white man came in, did what they did, right? Got rid of them. And the forest started to suffer. And the people, the white people didn't know why. They didn't understand why. They were like, what's going on? Where's all these, it was it was like a overgrowth of a bunch of stuff. It was a lot of things going on. Like the paths were not there anymore and all of these things. What was happening was the Native Americans would go in and actually take care of the forest. They were like shepherds of the forest. They like literally took care of the forest like they took care of a house. You know what I'm saying? And that was good for nature. It was actually helping nature. So we could be good for nature if we wanted to be, but we're not, right? We're not. So we could do that if we wanted to, but if we're not doing that, then nature will suffer and so will humans. So I don't believe that human beings, like, we need to depopulate at all. Like, I don't buy that shit one bit. That's fear mongering, right? That scarcity mindset bullshit. Like there's an abundance of every resource we need on this planet. There is an abundance of it if we stopped abusing it, right? If we stopped using fucking metric tons of of water to feed cows so that we can have steaks and shit like that, we'll be okay. We'll have enough drinking water, right? If we stop contaminating all of our drinking water, you know what I mean? If we stop fracking, if we stop using fossil fuels, if we stop doing these things, we got a shot. We stop. The number one polluter on the planet is the American military. That's the number one polluter on the planet. So we stop fighting in wars and we spent time actually building the world up, and that's the thing that's driving the population down and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't that we got to get back to traditional values or anything like that. I don't know what the hell you're talking about, Andrew. I completely disagree.
I ain't gonna hold you, but when we was in elementary school, we used to think that Florida was gonna fall off the map. Mm-hmm. I don't know how that would happen, but because there's so many people and it's a peninsula, that we was gonna fall off somewhere.
It's going underwater. It is going underwater as we speak.
What you said? What?
Florida is going underwater. That's been reported for a decade now.
But I thought it was California.
No, it's Florida. Cali is too.
Scam me again, so that was true.
Yeah. It ain't gonna break off. It's gonna stay on. Like they used to say Cali is gonna break off from an earthquake, which is it could, but it hasn't. Florida is going underwater though, like because the tide is rising, right? The ocean is rising.
I'm screaming.
They say get rid of Florida. Yeah, man. Yeah, NY too. Italy, Sicily, I believe. Yeah, there's a bunch of places that are going underwater. Yeah. It is a real thing. New Orleans, yep. Pretty much anywhere that's close by the water is going underwater right now. And it has been for decades. Like it's not a new thing. It's been happening for Venice. I'm sorry, I said Sicily. It's Venice. Yeah. They said we don't need Florida anyway. Y'all mean as shit. There's a movie, there's a show on Apple TV where that happened. Like Florida goes underwater and shit like that. There was like a whole show of that. And they're like in Miami and it's like all flooded in the church and shit. Oh,
saying that it being my babies here and my husband.
Don't worry, it ain't gonna happen no time while we alive. But well, I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. Yeah, I'm not a hater of Florida. I just seen a motherfucker from Florida swim underwater and sneak up on an alligator and scare it off a perch. But other than that, y'all all right with me. Y'all okay with me? I was like, God damn, Floridians is really different. Okay. Florida is a different place. All right. So let's get back to it. Anything else would you like to go?
You wouldn't be a good partner to a woman, so you don't even need to be dating if you don't take care of your children. You actually need to disappear from the face of the earth, but that's neither here nor there.
Goodness gracious, death.
Bye, y'all.
Unalivement.
Yeah, so I was going to address one thing here, man.
Go ahead.
So, I think you're talking bad about these traditional gender roles. You're like, men just don't want to provide.
Mm-hmm.
But by definition, if you follow the rule, the men have a moral and social and financial obligation to do it. So right now, the reality is men don't know their place. So at least if they know their place, they'll know this is what they need to do.
But they never had the obligation. That's what I'm trying to tell you, brother. That's the
If
disconnect.
You listen at what the definition of a traditional male role is.
Say it again.
Is part of that, is it not?
See, I think I think I hear what you're saying. I think the disconnect is you're talking about ideally this is what men should be like. I'm saying in reality what men actually do and did. You see what I'm saying? I think that's the disconnect. Like it's like if I ask you what does masculinity look like, and then you name a bunch of cool shit like intelligence and fortitude and patience and da 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 da, and I'll be like, okay, but is that actually reflective of most men? And you will go, no. And I'm like, okay, well then that's not masculinity then. Because masculinity is actually the thing that reflects the characteristics that most men embody, right? So, or is common amongst men, right? So if you're trying to sell me on that men are providers, then that would mean that most men adhere to that ideology, but in reality, we don't. So therefore, men are not providers, historically or currently.
I agree with you that there are a lot of men that aren't right now. But at least I'm saying have that as the goalpost. Like this is what you are expected to do, and if you don't hit this, then you're ostracized by society.
Can I ask you?
We're not ostracizing the men who aren't providing. That's the problem.
I agree. We should ostracize them more, and that's what I do actually. So let me ask you a question. Do you think men are more invested in their kids now or less invested in our kids now than men were 200 years ago in this country?
I think they were more than likely more invested 200 years ago.
You think they were more invested 200 years ago?
Yeah.
You think men, hold on, listen to what I'm saying. You think men paid more attention to their kids 200 years ago? You think men were less abusive 200 years ago? You think men showed up more for their kids emotionally 200 years ago? You think more men did that 200 years ago in this country?
At the very least, not maybe they didn't emotionally support them, but at the very least put food on the table.
No, but that's not the very least though. Right? It's not the very least. So I'll ask you again. Do you think holistically, do you think that more men showed up for their kids 200 years ago or less men showed up for their kids 200 years ago?
How are you defining showing up for your kids?
Emotionally, emotionally, financially, yeah, those would be the two. Emotionally and financially.
Probably not emotionally, but I think more so financially.
Okay, I disagree. I think because men were abandoning their kids 200 years ago too. And I know we both know they wasn't showing up emotionally 200 years ago, but they were abandoning their kids 200 years ago.
See, the thing is, like, when you have children, people have retirement plans now. Before, there was no such thing as a retirement structure. So your kids were what you needed when you got old to be your safety net. So that was an insurance for yourself to raise your kids in order for them to raise you when you can't raise yourself. Also
not true because, well, not to say that that's not how a lot of parents view their children, but that's not like 200 years ago. That's not what was going on. And I just go back because I could go back 400 years if I wanted to, you know what I'm saying? And we already know, but 200 years ago, slavery existed. That was an important thing. So we know the fathers black people wasn't even able to show up if we wanted to. How does he plan to hold men accountable? Osa is asking you, how are you planning to hold men accountable?
Well, we start by changing society and put stricter laws in place. If you don't pay up, like there should be punishment. You should be punished by jail, and you should be like
they are.
Yeah, I know, but you make it even stricter. That's the point. You make it as strict, so you get every resource out of a person if they're not providing for their kids. You figure out whatever it takes, and then and next you make sure you demonize deadbeats more than we do.
Would you say that the war on drugs helped combating the use of drugs in America or hurt?
I mean, the crack epidemic. No, I would say it hurt.
It hurt it, right? Okay. So, do you think that stricter laws is would be a response to would be a proper response to this issue? Do you think that it's because I don't think it's a legal thing. I don't think you could. They give people the death penalty for unaliving people, but there's tons of murders and tons of unalivings that still happen, right? So I don't think that the law is going to be the thing to deter men. What I think it is we have to combat it at its root. And so this is when we get to the bottom of it. Why do you think men abandon children?
Why do some men? I think because
most of the time,
and maybe they don't feel a sense of need to provide, and they don't trust the woman. They think the kid is maybe not there. I don't know. There's a number of reasons.
Let's not do the paternity bullshit because we know 99% of the time it's that man's baby. But let's say, right? Let's say that he knows that the baby is his. Everything is everything. They were born while they were married because this happens, and yet that man still abandons that kid. Why do you think that would happen?
I would say honestly, because those men don't feel the moral obligation to provide.
Okay. And why don't they feel that?
Because they haven't been instilled traditional values.
I disagree with the traditional part. I do think that they weren't instilled with those values, but is a big reason why men don't give children child support is because they believe it's going to help the woman of the child, the mother of the child.
I've had some conversations with some guys that think that they extrapolate too much and it's just used as a form of exploitation, which I think that's a little bit of a reach.
I know, but I'm asking you, do you think that the men who abandon the kids, do you think that they do so to hurt the woman the majority of the time?
That's pretty spiteful, don't you think? Like, it's your kid you're providing for, not the woman.
I'm not disagreeing. Me and you are on the same side as far as that's concerned, but I'm talking about the men who abandon the kids. I'm saying they are abandoning the kids to get back at the woman. Is that not safe to say?
Do you really think people do that?
Do I think it? I know it 100%. My dad did it.
No, but is that just partly out of malice, or was it just they saying they can't provide?
It's out of malice. Yeah, they can provide. They have jobs. My dad, I'll use myself as an example on this one. My dad had he had a job. He had a career, right? He had several jobs, but he always made money. He was always a money maker type dude, hustler type dude. But anyways, my dad told my mom when I was like 6, because like they got divorced when I was like between 5 and 6. I remember it was like around my birthday, my 6th birthday. They got divorced. And my mom told me recently that my dad told her if she ever filed for child support that he would never work a job again. Like he would just work odd jobs like under the table. He would never work a job again. That's what he told my mom. I don't even think my mom was even thinking about filing for child support because she never filed for child support from my brother. So I don't think she would have done it to my dad. But he threatened her with that. That's just one example. I've heard that and seen that play out many a times with men. Right? There's a woman on here, her name is Jenny. She told her story about how when she divorced her husband, he quit on paper their multi-million-dollar business so that he wouldn't have to pay alimony and child support. He's still getting paid from the business because he has like investments or whatever. He's like CEO. He's something with the business, but they still pay him. But he just on paper quit, so he doesn't get paychecks. So they can't. Yeah, they can't like garnish his shit or whatever the case may be.
No. There are people who manipulate the system so they don't have to pay up. But
you don't think most men do? That's what I'm saying. You don't think most men abandon their kids for that reason? Because what other reason is there? You hate the kid?
Some of them might, or some of them don't care. But I'd say that they don't feel the obligation.
Who is the person they will most likely hate in this scenario? The adult woman or the child?
Honestly, probably the woman.
Okay. So more than likely, he's abandoning the child due to the woman. Now, a lot of us believe that men do that because once a man loses access to the woman, then he wants to punish her, and he doesn't care if it hurts men or not. If it hurts the children or not. Come up, King Loaf. You already know the drill. I got you. Don't worry. So if that is the case, if men are abandoning women because they believe that they are entitled to a woman and to this woman's labor and body, and then they don't get that anymore, and then to get it, they punish her by abandoning her and the kids. Where do you think that comes from? Why would they do that? What is a rational explanation for that?
For abandoning child abandonment?
Yeah, what is a rational explanation for feeling entitled to a woman's body?
You mean like getting her pregnant, or what are you referring to?
Having sex with her labor, her cooking and cleaning and taking care of the kids and all of that stuff, which a lot of men feel entitled to a woman's body in that way. So what I'm asking you is why do you think men would feel like that about women?
I would say that some men just want easy access to a woman.
I know,
for their
but
sexual
why do most
gratification.
men feel like that though? Not some men. Why do most men feel entitled to a woman's labor and her body? Because we do.
I mean, those are two types of men, man. Those are there's
That's
some
the
men that
regular
just
man, though, a bit. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's the regular man. I'm just talking about the regular man, the average man. The average man feels entitled to a woman's labor and her body, right? Why do you
without
think that
paying
is?
her, without putting a ring on it.
Without putting a ring on it. And what does that have to do with it? What? Wait, you think because you put a ring on her finger, she's like, what do you think that ring is? Ownership of her?
No, it's a moral commitment that you're going to provide and protect for that woman.
So what were you doing before you put that ring on her?
Building up to the point that you do put the ring on her.
So you weren't providing and protecting for her prior to that?
Well, I didn't live with my wife prior to marrying her. That you move in.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
saying people only follow traditional values.
Yeah, that's fine. I was. So I think most of us in America live with our spouses, but prior to becoming married. I was providing and protecting for my wife before, right? I'm saying just based on, I don't even fall into that bullshit, but I'm saying like I was doing all the things for my wife before we got married. It wasn't like after we got married, I was like, you know what? I should get a job. Like I should really try to make some money for her. Like, no, I already was doing that.
I'm saying there's a contractual obligation there, and like marriage itself,
Where
signifies that contractual obligation. That
where's the contract?
well, it's implicitly implied in the registration of the marriage.
No, it's not an institution of marriage, but it's implied. That obligation happened prior to the. That's what I'm saying. In a relationship, you're obligated to do the same stuff.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's when it's ratified in law, it makes it it puts it on a higher level. It's not like if it's just a verbal agreement, it doesn't hold as much weight.
It's not in law though. That's what I'm trying to tell you, brother. In law, you're not legally bound to take care of this woman. It doesn't say that in the marriage contract anywhere. It's not what it says.
People will feel more when there's a paper and it's writing.
But see, see how you're moving it, because you said it's contractual, meaning but it's not contractual. You're saying that they feel like it is, which is a feeling, which is two totally different things. So it's not contractual.
No, it's kind of like, let's say I lent you 10K.
Mm-hmm.
If it was just a verbal agreement, it's one thing. But if we put it in writing, wouldn't you feel more of a sense that I have to pay this guy back?
But legally, I would be obligated to pay you. That's what I'm saying.
So I'm saying like the paper in itself puts the fire under some men when they're like, okay, I have this agreement and I'm obligated to do it because I'm bound by this paper.
That's kind of true. I get what he's saying, but I think it'd be much more better to say men or boys are just raised to like protect, provide, and do all of that bull for the woman that they choose to be with. All right, for example, right? Like how you said you paid the bills and did all this stuff for your wife. That's how boys are really like raised up to do, you know what I'm saying, to be.
They're not though. I wasn't.
Man, look, I was raised to take care of my family. That's how I seen it for all the other.
So are women.
No, I'm saying there's like a big difference between, you know what I'm saying, the way women take care of their family and then the way men take care of their family. That's why us two bump heads all the time.
What's the difference? There is a difference, but what's the difference? Why is it so different?
I think men worry about the means of how we going to eat and what are we going to wake up to. You know what I'm saying? And women, they, how can I say it? I guess they more worried about like health or something. But
you don't even know. But you don't even know. And you're just saying it's a big difference. And if it's a big difference, it should be easy to spot out. but I don't. But the difference, that's not the difference. I do agree that there's a big difference in how men and women view raising, contributing to a family. The big difference is this: women think, oh, I need to cook, clean, set appointments, wash dishes, wash clothes, buy groceries, put away groceries, wipe down counters. I need to do all of this stuff, right? I need to pay attention. I need to listen to my husband. I need to listen to my kids. I need to talk to them. I need to have meaningful conversations with them. I need to, I need to be patient with them. I need to be empathetic and all of these things. That's what women think. That's what women think about when they think about a family. And men think, I need to work a job, but when I come home, my time is my time.
See, that's why I'd have to disagree, man. Because a man not just going to work a job and then disband his family when he get home.
It happens every day.
It's some dudes who is like that, yeah.
It happens every day, though. Most dudes are like that.
Say most, bro.
Most dudes are like that. Most dudes are like that, yeah. Most dudes are neglectful.
I mean, would you say that about women? Because
no, I just told you most women aren't neglectful.
There are mothers who are in the house with their kids, but they're not actively raising their kids.
You're right. Some mothers are like that. Most men are like that. Some mothers are like that, but most men are like that. I agree. Some mothers are like that, but most men are like that.
I guess that's just different viewpoints, man.
Like my viewpoint is of reality and yours isn't?
Nah, I definitely have reality in my views.
You think that is reality? You think most men? Then you would have to explain, sir. If most men contributed to their families, why are most women saying that men are the largest stressors in their life? Even when they have kids. So mothers of children say that men stress them out more than the kids do.
I think because women in life, they stress themselves out.
No, no.
I know what I said about men worrying about money, this, that, and the third, how they gonna eat shit, right?
Sir, if that is the case,
that's stressful too. But I think when it comes to
how do women stress themselves out?
I don't think they're stressing themselves out.
How do women stress themselves out?
To a point of how you were saying earlier, they're worried about how everyone's feeling, worried about all these different types of appointments. And I'm not saying it's not important. It's very important. But to keep coming back to a person and keep trying to like talk to them about, well, sir, it gets stressful, bro.
What are you talking about?
You really do.
What are you talking about?
I'm giving you the answer, bro.
I'm not hearing it. What do you mean?
All right, man. So you mean to tell me your wife has never came off as nagging a little bit towards you?
Yeah, I've definitely thought that my wife was nagging when I was extremely misogynistic. I don't think she's nagging now.
I don't think it has nothing misogynistic about it.
It is.
Not gonna lie. A lot of dudes could be misogynistic. Yeah, I'm gonna give you that.
You.
But I'm saying I'm not misogynistic at all. I'm saying it's just certain things that when you in a relationship, bro, you shouldn't have to put as much stress on it. Like, for example, if we're going on a trip.
Wait. Right? I'm sorry. Let's go back, because before you go on this, I want to get back to the nagging. What is nagging? Give me an example of nagging. Give me an example of nagging that you think most men experience.
Let me see. Shit.
week about.
I guess the bills, bro. Like if you
Be
are
specific.
working towards the bills,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm being specific, right?
Okay.
If you are working towards the bills and you know how much money you finna get, and you know what's getting paid off and not, right? It shouldn't be 6 or 7 days out the week that you're constantly getting like, yo, what's going on with this? What's going on with that? For example, she could be setting up a vacation date, right? But all right, you got bills, you got the vacation. That's no problem. But all this stuff in the middle of it, bro, you want to go to parties, you want to go out to eat, you know what I'm saying? You want to hang with this and that person, bro. It gets stressful, especially if it's a little bit
so you don't have an explanation. You don't have an example of women nagging. Okay, Andrew, can you give us an explanation?
That was an example.
That
bro.
wasn't.
You didn't say a definition. You said an example.
No, that wasn't an example. Go ahead, Andrew. Like, can you give us an example?
Yeah, no, like they just it's an overreaction. Like like I've been forgetting to take out the trash for a few weeks, and they're saying, "Oh, why are you always doing this? You always keep forgetting."
Yeah.
You know, it's like sometimes you make a mistake once in a while. You don't do the dishes, big deal. Like things happen. Like women just get way too emotional over small things like that, and it's like just roll with the punches, guys. If a bad thing happens, it gets a little annoying. You know, I'm annoyed for a couple of minutes, and then I forget about it. Women harbor over that stuff all the time. You know, it's annoying.
So you don't think that the reason why I'm happy that you brought that up. That by the way, King Loaf, that's an example of nagging, right? In his mind.
Two different things.
No, it's just, I like what he said. That was an example. He mentioned a scenario, but we're gonna break it down a little bit. So you forgetting to take out the trash for weeks, you don't think that would upset another adult human being when you yourself is a fucking adult and they have to remind you? Right off the bat, why does an adult have to? Let me ask you a question, Andrew. How often do you have to remind your wife to do things around the house?
Not that often, but I mean, it's
hold on, wait, hold on. I just
pick up the trash.
I just want to take it step by step because I know how y'all get. So you almost never, I would guess never. You said almost never. I'm gonna guess never. I don't think you've ever had to remind your wife to do the dishes, to take out the trash, to do whatever the household duties were. I'm pretty sure you've never had to remind her, right? But you said almost never, so I'll give you almost never. How often does she have to remind you?
It's here and there, you know, maybe like a couple times a week.
A week? You listen to what you're saying. Almost never. Oh, me a couple times a week. A week? There are 52 weeks a year. Times 2. That's 104 times a year she got to remind you to do some shit that you should be doing on your own. So that's step number 1. Step number 2. Why shouldn't you be being, I'm sorry, if she has to remind you to do the things that you already know you need to do, then that tells me that you are not proactive at all. Right? You're at a deficit because you have to be reminded to do things that you know to do already, right? You're struggling just to do the things you already know to do, right? Now, but women are proactive. So she's heading off problems at the pass. She's cutting them off before they actually happen. She's seeing, oh, this is going to be a problem. Let me address it, right? You are reactive at best. At best, you're reactive. And you're not even like quick with the reactions. You're not fucking Mr. Miyagi snatching the fly out the air with the chopsticks, right?
You learn from patience. If you don't have any patience, your patience, and then it's just like, why are you overreacting and yelling over such small things? You know, just
because but you would, sir. I'm trying to tell you, you would too. If you were living,
I'm way more chill. I'm way more
because you already told us because you don't have to tell your wife to do anything. It's easy for men to be more calm and chill. It's super easy. It's so easy for men to be calm and chill. You don't even understand how easy it is. And yet men are still more irrational, more impatient, have less empathy than women. Even with that being said, you're right. I'm not going to say she should be calm and chill because that's tone policing. I don't even believe in that. Sir, you have fucked up for the 104th time this year. She had to remind you to do some shit. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Waiting, but like when that woman, when the waitress said, "Shut the fuck up and make the goddamn salad," like at some point in time, it's like, yeah, bro, like they be mad. You push them to their limit, they get upset, and then you gaslight them and try to make them feel like they're crazy for reacting that way. And you're trying to do that right now with me, but I'm not gonna. I don't believe in that, right? I used to think that. By the way, I'm not gonna even hold y'all. I used to think that way. I did. I've gone through that. So don't. I want to. Y'all know me. I don't. This is myself. I don't run from the fade. You know what I'm saying? That was me. I'm with you. I was that guy. I used to be like, oh, she's always getting on me about something. Because if she didn't, you wouldn't do it. Or you would do it when it was too late. If there's a if there is some like if the dishes are dirty, right? And she asks you to do the dishes, and then she goes in there and she wants to make food, but the dishes are dirty, she has to cook around the dirty dishes. So you're inconveniencing her, right? So she already asked you to do the dishes, you didn't do them. Now you're inconveniencing her. That's a problem. If there's a bunch of clothes in the middle of the floor and she has to walk around your clothes, you're inconveniencing her, right? Also, it's just messy, right? You pick up your clothes off the floor. If there's a if you took your equipment out to do something with in the middle of the fucking living room, and now it's in the middle of the living room and you haven't put it away in 10 days, and she keep like, now you're we actually affect their lives with the things that we do and don't do. And then y'all want to play dumb. But let me ask you this. Would your mama tolerate you not doing the dishes when she asks you to?
No, but like I'll be proactive. If I see something that needs to get done, I'll just do it.
But you don't do that with your wife. Why are you not doing that with your wife?
No, I do.
But you don't. You just said you don't, though. She has to remind you.
Once in a while.
Not once in a while. Twice a week is.
It's how you talk. It's how you say it. I don't mind being told to do something.
A bit.
You don't yell.
A bit.
Just like say it in a calm way. Don't get angry.
A bit. Being told to do something twice a week is not once in a while. That's really consistent. Very consistent. Being told to do something twice a week is extremely consistent, right? So yeah, no, that's not you guys are proving my point. That's why I said that the concept of nagging, right, is for men, to me, it is very much misogynistic. Because you guys are trying to act like women are being irrational by asking you to do stuff twice a fucking week when you never have to ask her to do anything. She's always doing the things. She's always on top of everything. You never have to remind her to do shit. You never have to tell her, don't be late. You never have to do that. But she always has to do that for you, or always meaning twice a week or more?
Bro, you giving women too much credit, yo.
How?
Because I'm not saying there's no women who are like that when you don't never have to say nothing.
Your woman ain't like that, King Loaf. His woman isn't like that, and my woman isn't like that. So what women are you talking about? Some fairy tale women?
I don't think so, yo.
You don't tell your girl to do nothing.
I see it all the time.
You don't tell your girl to do shit. She does everything. She is self-sufficient. She tells you to do stuff. Andrew, you don't tell your wife to do shit. She tells you to do stuff. Public, I don't tell my wife to do shit. She tells me to do stuff. But King Loaf want to sit up here and lie and says he sees it all the time. You don't. Y'all lying. Don't start lying now.
You're saying humans are perfect.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. That's
So then why
that
wouldn't you have to tell your wife to do something?
because your wife does the things she needs to do. It doesn't make her perfect. You see how crazy that is? You think that the reason why you don't do the things you're supposed to do and you're not proactive is because you're quote unquote not perfect. That's not the reason why. The reason why you don't do it is because you're entitled and you're selfish. and you're misogynistic and you think it's her job. The reason why you get upset about it is, hold on, King Loaf, hold on. And the reason you get upset about it when she brings it up is because of your misogyny. The reason you call it nagging is because of your misogyny. It's because of your disdain for women in general, specifically the woman you live with. That is why.
Yeah, that's a reach.
Okay.
It's not a reach. It's not a reach. It's not a reach. Sir, hold on, both of y'all. At your job, how often does your managers have to tell you to do something?
When they want me to do something.
How often do they have to remind you to do the thing that you're supposed to do? The task, your job description.
If it's a job at hand, then no, they don't have to. They'll
Okay,
tell me,
okay, hold on. So they don't have to remind you at your job. Now, if your job had to remind you over and over and over again, twice a week, to do the things, the tasks of your job, do you think it would be wise of them to just let you go or not?
I mean,
If you were a manager and you had an employee that you had to remind to do their job that they know how to do. It's not a hard job. It's not like they just can't get it. Even then, that's a problem. But it's not the difficulty of the job. It's the consistency of the job. And they're just not doing their job. Also, when you catch them not doing their job, they're not doing their job. It's not like they're doing another part of their job. They're just not doing anything, more than likely. Right? Because that's what's happening at home. The reason why you didn't take out the trash, Andrew, wasn't because you were so busy doing other shit at home, which would be understandable. Because guess what? I will guarantee you that your wife would just take the trash out. Instead, what's happening is you're at home and you're just at home, not doing shit.
The thing is, if I found she wasn't doing something, I wouldn't harp her over it. I don't use it over her.
You can't. You can't.
you can though. Like,
Y'all don't know how it works. You guys are trying to tell me, sir, I've been with my wife for 17 years. I promise you, the reason why you can't harbor on that shit and the reason why y'all don't nag y'all wives is because you know she got a motherfucking Tommy gun Uzi clip in that motherfucker to let off on you. If you bring up one thing to your wife, she got 100 things she gonna hold you accountable for. So that's why men keep their fucking mouths closed most of the time. It ain't because you're just a bigger person. Fuck out of here. Y'all on here lying. Y'all both are on here lying on y'all women right now. So both of y'all petty. Both of y'all petty. You ain't gonna both of y'all are petty. Both of y'all are petty. Both of y'all lying on y'all women right now. You're not about to lie to me and tell me that, oh no, I'm just a bigger man. I'm just a bigger person. That's why I would never do it. Nah, that ain't it. That's a goddamn lie.
honestly, that's what it is.
I gotta tell this example real quick. Do I have echo?
Nope.
No, okay, yeah, because what you just said, 100%. So, same thing happened to me last week. I did something, absentmindedly, forgot, miscommunication, whatever the reason was, when it came to my son last week. And his dad was like jokingly like, oh, yeah, I'm not going to get on you. I'm not going to, basically trying to act like he was doing me some kind of favor by, not rubbing it in my face. And I'm like, yeah, because this is the first time I've ever done this, and he's almost 5. You've done it who knows how many times. This is my first time in almost 5 years since he's been born that I've ever done something like this. You're not showing me grace. I still have so many in the clip to get you back for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like what you just said, 100% spot on. That's the reason why y'all can't harp over it or hold it over her head, because even if she does make a mistake or not do something she's supposed to do, it's probably the first time or the first of a small number of times that she's ever done that compared to you. So what would you look like?
An idiot. Let me read these super chats real quick. Osa said he sounds very naive with misogynistic viewpoints. He's talking about Andrew Late. My boy Varak. What's good, Varak? Varak said, oh man, appreciate the super chat. He said, off topic, but your subscribers just don't know how much of a beast you were on the mic. Hopefully one day you could bless us with a little freestyle. Hey man, I ain't Mason Cam, man. My rapping days, I haven't written a rap in fucking years. Tawana Tawana said they would hate for me to come up on the panel because I wouldn't tolerate their willful stupidity. Tawana also said these men are obviously too unintelligent to have these conversations, yet continuously embarrass themselves in front of women daily. Yeah, go ahead, Loaf, if you were responding. My fault.
Oh, I was just giving an example, bro. Like, for an example, my girl, she likes to paint, and she makes baskets and shit for pregnant women. So she's painting this basket, and I help her finish it, whatever, right? She puts the finishing touches on it, but it's the fact that the paint shit, it was like still in the middle of the floor. Cool, bro. I'm not tripping over it, whatever. I'm still doing my shit. Yeah, I'm not perfect. It's some shit that I'm slacking at, but if we gotta see this shit every day, it's like, come on, bro. That's an example right there. That's a clear as day example. I don't know what dude was talking about when he was like, take the trash out. I grew up on, yo, the trash gotta go out. Like, it's no woman in the house is gonna grab the trash. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know what the hell. I don't know how we got there. But so you saying that your girl didn't pick up the paints and you could have said something, but you didn't?
For sure. Like, what? Why would I even get to...
Does she normally not pick up her paints? Does she normally not pick up her paints?
I wouldn't say she normally don't, but I know how an artist is, bro.
No. I'm just hold on. But King Love, does your girl normally not pick up the paints?
In this new house, it's like the first time, bro. This dead like the first time.
Okay. So that would be wait. And that would be an example to Andrew's point where I'm with you. Yep, give her grace. Give her grace. Right? But
I get that, bro.
How often how often does she remind? I don't think you guys do have that much patience. Men are not patient. So how often does she have to remind you to do something like that?
If it's bothering her,
no.
She probably says something.
Bro, having these conversations with you, King Low specifically, is very difficult. Even a bid is being more honest now. Like, this is crazy. Just answer the fucking question. You know what I'm asking you. How often does she have to remind you to pick up your drawers, wash the dishes, do whatever the fuck you supposed to be doing? How often does she have to remind you? That's what I'm asking you. Once a week, twice a week?
My drawers stay picked up.
I'm just giving examples.
Yeah, I know. My drawers stay picked.
I'm not asking you to. It's not a checklist.
For the dishes, I am really the main one who do the dishes. So most likely once, maybe twice a week. Yeah. Okay, so
twice a week. You almost never have to remind her to pick up her paints. See the difference?
She's only done it one time.
What do you mean she's only done it one time?
Bro, we've only been living in this house for what?
In the other house, did you used to have to remind her all the time to pick up her fucking paints?
It's our first time living together, brother.
Huh?
It's our first time living together.
Man, I can't. Okay, why are you even talking about it then?
Because it's an example, bro. It's an example.
What are you even talking about? If you don't have the lived experience, what are you even talking about? Shit is crazy. Give it some time. We'll spin the block. Don't worry. I'll have you back up here and we'll ask you in 6 months. What up, Tiffany?
I'm sure it's gonna be the same thing. All right.
What up, Shan? What's up, everybody? So, I think it's interesting because I was gonna say, my 9-year-old, I have to constantly remind her to pick up like wrappers and things like that, right? I mean, it's constant. I have to stay on her all the time about it.
Yep.
I think what we have to remember is that women do not want to also have to parent our partners, right? And I don't understand, or I do understand, that very much these men in general, it's like they have the cognitive ability of children, literally. It's like their brains have never evolved from when they were kids, when their mothers coddled them, all the things. So that was the first point I wanted to make. And then just going off of your prompt, I wanted to mention as well that, there's a lot of situations where men will say, like, not to get too much into personals, like my ex, didn't want me to put on child support. I'm going to pay you. But again, at that time, like our relationship was still what it was. But men a lot of times don't want to be put on child support because they want to obviously still have access to their ex. Because when you don't put them on child support, then that means that if you're letting them just, pay you something every month and you're trusting they're going to do that, that still means that they have to have access. They still have access to you because you're going to be communicating with them and contacting them. You know what I'm saying? So, absolutely, if you are not contributing to like financial aspect of your child, it is absolutely 100% neglectful and abusive. And I'll just land there.
Who made your shirt?
Your girl. No edit said it. The dissonance is debilitating these men. They can't even form complete sentences. It's actually very sad.
Man, 43, that shirt is fucking crazy. I ain't gonna lie. It's a shorty I met at my job, and she made bucket hats like that. Trying to get one.
Yeah, you should get one. I got bucket hats too. I might throw it on. This hat hurting my head. You can cam up. You can King Low. You can cam up anytime you want to.
I ain't camming up, bro. I'm in my drawers.
I'm sure.
No point.
You in your drawers?
I mean, I'm on.
Nigga, it is 3:30. Where you at? What coast you on?
I'm in Maryland, dog.
It is 3:30. Clock the fuck in.
It's 2:32. It's 2:32. I'm in my drawers. Look.
Oh, sorry, 2:32.
I go to work at 4 and I get off at 12. Come on, man.
Wow.
Come on.
Yeah. I'd rather be in this shirt at 2:30 than be in my fucking drawers. That's wicked.
I mean, I'm in my own house. Why can't I be in my drawers in my own house?
Cause you a man, you supposed to be doing something. They can move around. Get some money.
I just cooked. I'm about to do some other shit. What you mean?
All right. Yeah, man. Not doing nothing.
You sound lazy as hell.
Clock the fuck in, bro. Y'all niggas.
You sound like you don't be doing nothing.
Y'all do not be clocking in enough for me.
I'm just playing, King Love. I'm just playing. Don't get sensitive about it. But
No, you good.
yeah,
I'm just trying not to do nothing.
Clearly.
I agree with what Tiffany said. I don't think that if you're refusing to support your child financially, I don't see how you can still be a good father, because I don't think that, mothers are given that grace. Like, if you can't feed your kids and clothe them and, have a roof over their head, even if it's like the most, there's people that live in poverty. Like, we understand all that. They don't mean you got to be rich. But if you're not supporting your kids financially at all, and you're relying on the mother to do 100% of the financial support, then no, I don't think that makes you a good parent, because she doesn't get to still be a good parent and not spend any money. So why do you?
Exactly, Shannon. Pub, and Pub, I just want to tell you too, I just found out over the summer that my daughter has a whole sibling, a 3-year-old. So my ex had a whole child, another one.
What?
Doesn't take care of. Yeah.
After what? Okay, so it'll be younger than your daughter.
So, I mean, I don't know if he has other kids, but basically, so my 9-year-old, right? And then I just found out, I saw a message from 2021 that he has a whole 3-year-old with another woman. And so my daughter has a sibling, which is great for her because she's always wanted a sibling. But I mean, it's nasty work. Like, you can't take care of the first child you're having out here having another child.
And that other woman didn't know that he had a child, I'm sure.
No, she did. She reached out to me on an old Instagram account, and that I don't really look at. And just happened to be 2 months ago. I was, anyway, not to get too much into personals, but yeah, my daughter has a whole sibling that she just found out, a whole 3-year-old sister. And I'm like, and he did not, we talked, again, long story, but he's denying her that that's not his child.
Wow.
And I actually we have a whole bonus family now, and it's actually been working out really great with the mom and her kids, but like, you know, it's unbelievable that he's denying her. I've seen this baby. She's absolutely beautiful and she looks exactly like him. And he's denying his child. Like,
wow.
Oh my God. So
wow.
Isn't it crazy that they want to control us, women's bodies? But this is allowed to happen. And to touch on what Shan said too, I'm going to court actually next week because of the fact that he's like 5 months behind in child support. 5 months. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if women did that? Can you imagine what they would do if women did that? If women did that,
handcuffs.
And of course, King Yeast is gonna like bring up the point, like, oh, you know, like they're women or deadbeats. Yeah, no, not really. Like, show me the stats. Like 2% of the time.
What type of yeast am I?
The yellow kind. Hold on. Let me read these. Cash apps. I've been missing them. I got one message earlier from Allie, and then I didn't get any more. I don't know what the fuck's going on with Cash App. It's not showing me the things. But Adrian said the book talk girlies want the word alpha back. That was a book talk word. Essie Bestie said the striped shirt with the chat and our ADHD is wild. That's why I changed it. Just cause your live is lit. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, Tiffany.
Hey, Pub, look at this comment. He said, being broke doesn't make mothers bad moms, so being broke doesn't make a man a bad father. The thing you're missing, though, is that the moms are usually 98% of the time in the picture doing everything besides the financial. Here's the thing. If you're not financially providing, and in addition, you're not even present, you're not in the picture because of a lot of different factors, you know, the very bare minimum you could do is pay your child support to make sure that the mother who's doing both mom and dad can keep a roof over their head and lights on.
Yeah.
Come on now.
I say lead him. Never mind. LaMonica Johnson, I appreciate you. She said, Bugsy must have bugs in his brains. What? He does. That dude's he's a big ass idiot. Katrina King, what happened to marriages is fantastic work. Oh, that's a book, Katrina? Okay. What happened to marriages? Yes. All right. So I got through those. All right, y'all. I can see it now. I got my other device. So I'm going to be checking the Cash App so y'all can send them. Speaking of that, yeah, bang the Cash App one time. Let's keep the live alive. Mel, I appreciate the gifts, brother. I saw that. Appreciate you. Abid, are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like, you're 100% wrong.
What?
When it comes to men are way more calm and resilient. Like, I don't hold anything over my wife.
Bullshit.
Women do nag.
No, they don't.
They make a big deal out of the smallest things. That's the main difference here.
No, they don't.
If I played the same game, I could be a very vicious person, but I don't do that.
You couldn't.
So I think that's the main.
You couldn't do it. You literally couldn't do it because you don't ever have to remind her to do shit.
No, if I overanalyze everything, you could find faults.
She's not overanalyzing. She's just regularly analyzing. Men overanalyze and nag. Men nag. Men say the wildest shit to women, and women be doing their shit. And they, man.
Nag and overanalyze about that? That's my question.
What do men overanalyze about nagging? Literally, what's going on right now? Listen to what I'm saying.
That women do in the house besides talking to us. What do we talk about?
Say it again.
Tell me a real problem that men speak on that women do, and it doesn't involve them talking to us.
I don't even understand what that means.
The way we look, how many times y'all are getting smecks every week, the way are we cooking enough? Is the food good? Are we keeping the house clean enough? Like y'all act like y'all just be in the house and y'all have zero needs, zero requirements. Y'all just in a relationship like, no, babe, do whatever you want. Just exist. We're good. Like y'all be having a lot of needs. Y'all needy as hell.
I mean, do you not want to look good?
Nah, don't pivot.
Exactly.
Don't pivot, nigga.
What you mean? Like,
hold on. Oh, Loaf, hold on, please. Osa said they don't pay because they feel they are paying the mom. That's why they don't pay child support. That's true. All right, go ahead, Lo.
Yeah, I'm saying like, all right, I seen them dudes who do complain about like the waist size of women and all that shit. I never understood it because I like women, but I know my favorite type. I like BBWs. So if I'm with a BBW, I'm not finna complain about your weight, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Nobody's talking about you personally, please.
Oh, all right, no, Mayo.
Yeah, decenter yourself, because you just be saying anything. It's not about you. You asked for what do men be complaining about when it comes to women, and I gave it to you, and you talking about you like BBWs. What the hell?
I like my girl BBW. Hey, hold on. Blue Turquoise, appreciate you. She said, I thought K and BPG was the same person. I love it here today. I love it here. K and BPG are indeed not the same people. They have completely different temperaments, actually. Both funny though. Both smart. Bugsy, what were you saying in the comments? Bugsy, what were you saying in the comments, brother?
Your bills don't change because you got kids. As adults, we all got bills. We all got bills to pay. Just because you have a child, don't make that situation change. I've seen economists talk about this.
Have you ever raised your children? Have you ever lived with them?
Have you? Because you were obviously like exaggerating.
Impossible.
You exaggerate. You exaggerate how much it costs to raise a child to make yourself look good.
You just said the bills don't change at all.
They don't
You
change.
You just said they don't change at all.
Okay, well, listen. Okay, this is how it works, right? Wherever you can afford to stay, your rent is going to be the same regardless, right? It's not going to, if you was to add a child to the situation, your rent is not going to change. Your light bill is not going to go up. Hold on. Your light bill is not going to go up, right? You understand what I'm saying? Now,
not right.
That is true. Your light bill is not going to change. Your rent is not going to change. It's going to be the same dollar amount. Regardless,
how would your rent not change when you need a whole extra bedroom?
With or without kids, you got bills, right? So how does one person's bills all of a sudden become more important just because they have a child?
Okay, so
because you obviously can co-parent. You obviously can co-parent without getting the system involved.
Yeah. So
I just not change when you need a whole extra bedroom. I just want to know that one question. When you have a child, you need a whole extra bedroom. How does your rent not go up?
Are you sure?
Nigga.
Right? I mean, whatever somebody decides to do, that's their own personal standard.
Oh, okay. He just making up stuff now. Don't even worry about it. He just making up stuff.
Y'all create all this bullshit off of your own personal standard, off of your high.
So you gonna have your kids sleeping in one bedroom with you? So you gonna have your teenage? Hold on, Bugsy. You gonna have your teenage? Bugsy, you gonna have your teenage kids living in the same room with you, one bedroom? This shit y'all saying right now, I'm not understanding. Like, I didn't make up anything with my kids. I could, if I really cared, I would show y'all, but I don't really care to show y'all. But yeah, bro, we spend a lot of money on my kids. Like, we spend a lot of money on our kids. A lot of money. I made a joke yesterday, but I was serious. My son, me and my wife were like, yeah, we got to get a house with a pool. If I didn't have a child, I would not be thinking about buying a home with a pool.
But you do things based on your taste and your own personal standard. Everybody can't afford.
You're just making up stuff.
Everybody can't afford this, live in the same
I know, but I'm going to do what I can do. And since I can't afford to buy a house with the pool, I'm going to buy a house with the pool because my kids want a house with the pool. Since I want to buy a house, since my kids want me to buy a house with the pool, and I can afford to buy a house with the pool, guess what? We're going to buy a house with the pool. Since we can afford to live in a good neighborhood, Bugsy, guess what? We are going to live in a good neighborhood. We're not going to live in a neighborhood where the schools are bad. We're not going to live since we can. I don't know why he's talking. It's the weirdest thing ever. My kids, this is not when I grew up, you know what I'm saying? We grew up on a lot of time. We had food stamps, you know what I'm saying? We wasn't eating organic food. We was eating from the local, thank goodness we didn't live in a food desert, but we was buying from the local grocery spots or whatever. My kids eat mostly organic food. They don't, you know what I'm saying? My kids eat out a lot. They not a lot, but they, consider they eat Chipotle, they eat, you know what I mean? You just gotta spend money on these motherfuckers. I told you, literally, this wouldn't even compute it right now. But my wife, we were just talking about how much money we spent on food yesterday. We looked at it, and it was $2,000 that we spend a month on food in total.
That's based on your own personal standard.
Sir, if I didn't have kids, my own personal standard would only be $1,000 a month. You're not, what you're saying doesn't make any sense. Hold on, bro. Hold on, real quick. If you go, Bugsy, stop. If you go to McDonald's, and it's you and your kids, if you got two kids, hold on, man. Damn, this motherfucker will not shut up. If you go to McDonald's and you want to buy some food for you and your kids, right? I'm sorry, if you go to McDonald's and you got two kids with you, are you not going to buy them food as well? Or are you not going to buy them food? I'm curious.
Is that a rhetorical? I mean, like, that's common sense, right?
You're going to buy them. Okay, cool. So you're going to spend more money. Sense, right? So it's not based on your whatever. You now have to buy your kids. So if you ever want McDonald's, you basically got to buy your kids McDonald's, right? Hold on. I'll even take it outside of McDonald's before you refute. If you want to make a pot of spaghetti, right? You want to make you some spaghetti. It's just you and your wife. How much spaghetti are you going to make? Are you going to make the same amount of spaghetti that you're going to make if it's fucking 5 people eating? Or are you going to make more money on the spaghetti though? You're not necessarily. You are, because you're going to eat, because it's oh my God. This motherfucker don't. I'm convinced you don't. I'm convinced you live in a hospital and people just take care of you. I'm convinced you either are in prison, you are institutionalized some way, shape, or form. Because what you're saying don't make sense.
Yeah, that's stupid. What you're saying is actually fucking dumb.
You're saying you don't need more food to feed more people. You really
don't need that much food unless you're just fat and just greedy.
That much food. Bugsy, you fat. You greedy. You fat and greedy. Hold on, Bugsy. Hold on, Bugsy. Time out. Bugsy, you fat and greedy. Why are you talking about unless you fat and greedy? That's you. You fat and greedy. So you need more food. This shit crazy. Y'all crazy, man. I don't understand it.
Yeah, nobody said you need the most expensive food or you got to eat steak and lobster.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
When you're feeding more people, shut up and listen. When you're feeding more people, it takes more food. You got to buy more. If you have more people living in a home, you need more living space for those people. If your wife and y'all's 2 kids all crowded up in one bedroom together, that's your broke, dusty ass. But most people want their children to have a bedroom, even if they have to share it with each other. Most people are not going to sleep with their 16-year-old child. They need a bedroom of their own. Rent obviously is going to be higher.
Shan, if I'm not mistaken, if you go to court, won't they? Or Tiffany, you would know this. If you go to court for your kid, wouldn't they make you have another bedroom for your child? Yes,
yes.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
And to piggyback on what Shan said, Bugsy, you have to.
It's bare minimum standards.
Don't interrupt. Hold on a second.
Minimum standards. Stop it. It's bare minimum.
Bare minimum standards you just said weren't needed. So
right.
Shut up and let her talk.
So literally, me and my daughter used to live in a 1-bedroom when she was little. In the same house I live in now, right? It was less money. But the bottom floor of my house, which is where we live now, is a 4-bedroom, 2-bath. So we upgraded. We moved downstairs. Don't you understand that living in a 1-bedroom for my daughter who is growing would not be ideal for me as an adult, but for her as a child? So giving her more space subsequently means that there's going to be more costs to live in a larger space, more heat to heat the apartment, more electricity. I'm feeding someone else besides myself.
Where do you live?
Hold on a second. I'm not finished with my point. So if it was just me, I could have probably stayed upstairs in my one bedroom, right, and stayed there.
Mhm.
But because I have a child and I want her to have her own room, I want her to have the things that she needs. I want to be able to have more space for
Your
us.
standard, your
It's
taste.
going to cost more money. What?
There's people who live in the same bed, sleep in the same bed with their kids in California.
You just saying stuff, huh?
I'm not saying that.
You just saying stuff, huh? You just saying stuff.
They're not necessarily.
This is how lost. Never mind. Go ahead, Bugsy.
They're not necessarily neglecting your children. If you was to try to bring
That's
a child
abuse.
neglect case because people are sleeping in the same beds with their kids because that's what they can afford.
That's
I bet you they're
ideal.
gonna walk out with their kids because that's not considered neglect.
Okay.
That's not ideal.
Hold on,
Bugsy.
hold on, y'all.
I know it's not.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, Bugsy. Hold on, Bugsy. Nobody can hear you. Bugsy, nobody can hear you. Okay. Let me read these super chats. No Edit said it. Males will purposefully not help their children because they know it puts added stress on the mother. A truly insidious demonstration. Capital demon. Mod said, these dudes want kids to have the bare effing minimum. He don't even want them to have the bare minimum. Less than the bare minimum. Based on attraction, based on your standards. These motherfuckers are based out and insane and outsane. Oh, man. Phoenix Soul said, Bugsy squat. Hold on. Bugsy squatting in a bando, stealing Wi-Fi. Not a bando. Once the access to women is gone, no money for the kids, Tia said. Cecilia said, no medical insurance, food, clothing, childcare, ? Apparently not. He don't care if his kids have insurance. He said he got his babies on that plan that Chris Rock had his babies on. Chris Rock daddy had his babies on. That Robitussin. Let that tussin sink down deep in the bone. Yeah, let that tussin get down on up in there.
Bugsy be telling his kids, damn, y'all gotta eat every day.
Damn, it's your birthday again?
No, see, it's that statement because I never said nothing about my personal feelings. I'm just telling you what.
God damn. Every year the same date? Christmas.
How dare you have to wipe your ass?
Flushing the toilet. Diabolical.
It's their kids, for real.
Cut the air off. It ain't that.
And that's not neglect.
Y'all letting all the good air out.
They care about is bare minimum standards. Period. Y'all can say what y'all want to say because y'all fucking idiots.
Do you really want to play sports?
You're just fucking idiots. You don't
Do you really want to play a sport, sir?
You can go to jail for not paying your bills.
Are you mad?
You dumb as fuck. You don't know what the fuck.
Hey, Kia.
Are you getting emotional?
Tia said Kangs of excuses, remedial. Lady Starfish said,
you obviously remedial.
Thank you, Lady Starfish.
You said you could go to jail for not paying your bills.
So emotional.
Shit, I ain't gonna even hold you, Bugsy. Guess what? I'll never go to jail for not paying shit because I pay every fucking thing on time. Shit, actually, low key, I ain't gonna even hold y'all. I'm ahead on my car payments. I'm like, they be telling me I ain't gotta pay for months. They be like, your next car payment is due July 3rd, 2025. I'm like, nah, you good. We gonna keep it going.
Yeah, you work at the dealership. That's why.
No, I don't actually. You tried it. I actually don't. Bugsy, the bugaboo. And they put $5 on Bugsy head, by the way. But we listening.
Bob, he said, how dare you need to use the lights again today?
Your homework?
Because we said kids gotta eat.
Y'all stupid as hell.
That's
what you need to do. That's what you.
Hey, he be like, here, huh? Take this candle.
Y'all fucking dumb as shit. This nigga just sat here.
Here, huh? Light this candle so you can do your homework. God damn.
Bugsy, you came up here on the premise.
This is America.
You came up here on the premise that it didn't cost more money to raise kids than if you didn't have them. It does. It literally does. I pay almost $1,400 a month for my kids to go to school.
That's what you chose to do. But it's people in
He
California.
has to go to school. He has to go to daycare. Every single one of them costs money. There is no
people
free
in California
daycare
right now that sleep in the same bed as their kids, and
they're called pedophiles.
Seriously.
And they're called child molesters. Help! Police! Help!
You rarely know what the fuck you talking about.
Help!
You the only one up here don't know what you're talking about. Like, there's no way you actually have children.
With somebody who
A
You actually have children.
Ali said, more kids means more ingredients for leftovers. Oh man, Bugsy, this is sad, bro.
Common sense to most people that if you have kids,
people are on public assistance, right?
Yeah, not me.
Okay. And guess what? They
What do you think they're doing?
Hold on, Tiffany. People even get more public assistance based on the number of kids they have. Why do you think that is, Bugsy? Because even the fucking government understands it costs more money to raise children.
For reals. Phoenix Soul said Bugsy the Phoenix Soul said Bugsy the Bugaboo. Nigel said, hold on, that was Nigel said Bugsy the Bugaboo. Phoenix Soul said baby Bugsy on a emotional roller coaster.
Yes.
That boy was crashing out, saying some foolishness. Here's a dub on a broke.
But Pub, he was the one also that was saying earlier that if a mom is broke, that doesn't make her a bad mom. Just the same as if a dad is broke, it doesn't make him a bad father. And then somebody said in the comments, moms are broke because dads don't pay their child support.
For real, it's all connected for the mama. Niggas, men is broke. Men is broke. Men broke because they in they draws at 2:30 p.m. in the afternoon. That's why you niggas is broke. That's why. A lot of you niggas is broke because y'all still in y'all draws in the late afternoon. Nah, bro, that wasn't even at you. Why you taking it personal? Why you taking it so personal, fam? I just was saying in general. That wasn't about you specifically.
Look, you could be in your drawers too, just off TikTok. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not. I'm fully clothed. I got on shoes. I got on shoes and everything.
In the damn house.
I got on shoes. I got on.
Those shoes are cute. I like those.
Yeah, I got on shoes. I got on pants. I'm fully clothed because I got shit to do. After I get off of here, I gotta go do some shit, and I gotta come back and do some more shit. I gotta do shit. My whole day is filled with doing shit. Mello, what's good? Hold on, let me read these super chats before I get to Mello. Man, I gotta go to a meeting. I gotta go to a meeting in a few minutes. I am unapologetically, Lisa said, Lord, I hope this bare bones minimum struggle life mentality is not airborne. Sheesh. Yeah, it ain't contagious. Don't worry about it. Tawana put 20 on Bugsy head. He gone. Add on the Bugsy drop. Got you, Paige Turner. He gone. Don't worry about it, y'all. He gone now. He just dropped. Go ahead, Mellow Man.
Hey, Bub. Hey, good morning, panel. Hey, everybody.
Yes, sir.
What now? Now, there's some validity to, not to the extent that Bugsy was saying, but you do have to be efficient and you do have to know how to shop, where to shop, and what to buy in order to afford to be able to feed your family appropriately. Like, you can't shop per meal. You do have to know how to meal plan. You do have to know how to buy in bulk. You save way more money if you plan stuff out. And trust me, I've done it both ways. I should blow $2,500 to $3,000 a month because I used to shop per meal, which I spent way more money until I start going to Costco and buying in bulk and seeing how it is that I can maximize and buy the most food and afford to actually feed them better. So a lot of people don't do that because they don't know how to do that. So you can live a lot more efficient if you know what you're doing.
I'm trying to understand the point of this. Like, you think you teaching us something, sir? Like, we don't know how to budget over here?
No,
Who you think?
Listen,
What you saying, family?
But basically, what I'm saying is that everybody can afford, if they have a extra kid, everybody might not be able to afford to jump up to a 3-bedroom. So you got to cram the other kid in there wherever you can afford. You're living with whatever.
Oh my! No. I'm with you. No, trust me. My kids sleep in 1 bedroom right now. right? We got 3 bedrooms. They're all 3 occupied. My brother-in-law staying with us right now, and my kids sleep on 2 bedrooms, which he was sleeping in there before. He had his own room, and then he moved out and moved back in with his brother because he was getting afraid at night. So I'm with you. I'm not, that's fine. I'm not saying like people, they need to just level up. I don't be on no bootstrap bill bullshit. Like you got to fucking, you know, only niggas I tell to clock in is niggas that be in their house at 3 o'clock and they draws. Them the only, if you are an able-bodied man and you in your drawers at 3 o'clock, I'm gonna tell you to clock the fuck in. But outside of that, I don't be saying, nigga, do your thing, live your life. You know what I'm saying? Do what you got to do, right? But yeah, we know how to budget over here, broski.
Yeah, that wasn't even the premise of the conversation. Bugsy's whole point was that it doesn't cost more money in general to raise kids than it does to not have kids, and that's just a dumb point. And even with the bedroom thing, he was saying you don't even need more than a 1-bedroom apartment with children. That doesn't make sense. Like, yeah, they can share a room, but you should not have you and all your kids piled up in a
Hey, YouTubes, I gotta go. I gotta do a meeting right now. I will be back on.
Until you can get up on your feet.
I'm not gonna be able to come back on today.
To do that. But even with those people, they'll sleep in the living room.
Yeah, I gotta go. They waiting on me right now. I'm gonna holler back.
They still will give their kids a bedroom of